Let's go ahead and do a quick formal introduction to the interview and just get back to talking because I have a feeling we can apparently talk a lot.
Yeah, I
We
mean,
haven't even,
it's
we haven't even talked about Gwent or anything. We just started talking.
obviously not. No, it's that's a good way to start. A little interview with the boy, Misterhabbla1 and the Mister Plain Talk John. I hope I got that right
You
with the
did, you did. You can
directions.
feel free to call me John. If
Oh,
you
John,
just call
yes,
me
and
John.
also don't be afraid to call me Ben,
That's right,
Mister
guys. Mr.
John.
Haba, aka Ben, is we're just gonna call him Ben. It's gonna be more intimate,
Yeah,
guys. We're getting intimate with Ben today. That
we're
is why
getting
you're
intimate
here.
with Ben. Yes,
But guys, we're
thank
doing an
you.
interview. As you know, this is the first time ever on the show we're doing an interview. Hopefully not the last. And we are doing it with the one and only legendary Ben, also known as Mr. Habla.
Hi
Um,
guys. Meme cards, I guess. Is that
yeah,
is that is that appropriate?
sure. Why not? I think
Yeah,
it's good.
so they recognize me. They say they know who it is.
Uh,
It's kind of like it's funny having that. It's like this. In I don't know what it's called in English. It's like trademark. Yeah, the trademark. That's what
huh.
it's called.
And
Main
like
cards. Yeah,
exactly.
it's
Oh
good.
my gosh, so good. Yeah, I can see chat blowing up. But chat, feel free to submit questions. Bubble Chub and the other mods will be collecting them. We can do some Q and A at the end if there's time. I'm sure there will be. Anything else?
I
Want
see I
to?
see Ben Habla in the chat. So some people think my last name is actually Habla,
There's
but
no way.
there's a more interesting story to that. There's a more interesting story to that, but we'll maybe get to that.
Story of name. Okay, well, I'm added to the man. This list of topics. I was like, man, I'm really worried about running out of topics to talk about today. The list. I keep the list over here, so I'm glancing over here. I'm kind of looking. It's getting quite long. So I'm
Okay,
excited. But
well, let's get to some of them,
yeah,
right?
let's get things cooking. Anything else I want to say to the chat? Oh yeah, chat. You're gonna notice every notification is disabled during this. I'm just gonna concentrate on Ben because that's what counts here. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
blow off chat for you guys. Sorry. So if you follow, you don't get the crazy over the top intro. And let's go ahead
Let's
and
keep it calm here. It's us talking. We can't
it
let
is.
chat interrupt us.
Exactly. So sorry, chat. We're keeping things chill. And let's get underway. Glad you're all here though. So many familiar faces. Both of us. And let's go ahead and concentrate on the man himself. So Ben. I
What's
guess
up? What's up, John?
we could just pick up where we left off. We're talking a little about traveling, right?
Yes,
Have you traveled a
traveling.
lot yourself? It sounds like you live in Austria.
Well,
Yeah. Mhm.
you as an American, I think this is a very culturally different thing is traveling into different countries in Europe is like traveling into different states as an American,
Yes, that
I
probably
would
makes some
say.
sense. It kind of makes some
Because
sense.
it's very small. So
Hmm.
the only thing that makes it so unique is that you have very different cultures in a very small amount of space in Europe. So
Hmm.
you travel north, you have Scandinavia, very cold area. You can tell the people are very white and all of that. I've never been to Scandinavia. I do want to go at some point with my
I
girlfriend.
feel
We
that.
did have that plan. Then you
Hmm.
have France. I love France, but I also kind of hate France because French was always a very difficult topic in my school. Sorry, difficult subject in my school. We had
Hmm.
French in school, so je peux parler un petit peu de français.
Je ne parle pas
Aber
français.
that's a shame. But I was never good at it, so I always have like this little, in the back of your mind. So fuck French, because almost made me fail school at some point.
It's so funny. But you took it anyways. Is that right? So did you have to take it or you picked to keep
Oh
taking
yeah,
it?
it was I went into a language school, so after at
Same.
like what is it? It's 10th grade. At 10th
Okay.
grade, we actually had Russian as well for 2 years. For the last two
Brutal.
years, we had
Okay.
Russian. And the reason why is because the school where I lived in was in the district in Vienna that was part of the Russian army when the Allies won the war, the Second World War. So
Okay.
Austria was separated, and then Vienna was separated again. And our school
Hmm.
was in the fifth district, part of the Russians. And you do see some Russian architecture around that district as well, which is kind of interesting to see. And yeah, that's why Russian is actually part of the subject as well as Latin, French, English, and German. So yeah,
Wow.
those lots of languages. And you could also take like other languages like Spanish as like what's it called? Not obligatory. Uh,
Extracurricular?
it's called yeah, curricular exactly.
Interesting. So Did you will is this like a normal path for people?
No, no. It
No.
was a very we call it if my fellow Austrians watch this, we call it Bonsenschule, which means it was a private school basically, and
Oh.
it was a very elitist private school. I wasn't like part of the elite, but you could tell like in every like grade you had like kids that have like lords as like uncles or their
Whoa.
fathers were lords. They had like if they were to live in Holland, for example, they would have like the
Mhm.
Vander name, the Vander Horst or something, Vander Fürst or something like that. So yeah, it was I should have probably left that school because you have the
Mhm.
choice in eighth grade to leave the school, and I should have probably gone for a more creative route because languages.
Yeah.
I mean, but it was just like a very high. It was like high praise school, like
Uh-huh.
everybody kind of knows it and
Yeah.
stuff.
Comes with
So
reputation, kind of
yeah, it
like
had a reputation, so
mhm.
you leaving
Mhm.
it was like, and I also didn't want to leave my friends. Also, that the school had an insane park where you could play football, which was
Mhm.
just after like I think it's ninth grade, you're pretty much on the field playing soccer. Sorry, soccer,
And you can
not
say
football.
football. I know what you're saying then.
Yeah, if I say football. So and yeah, we played football for like because it was like full time as well. So you had
Mhm.
school from 8 to 6,
Yep.
so almost like 10 hours.
Wow,
Yeah,
so
10
it's
hours exactly. So
demanding.
we would spend like 4 hours of those just playing football
Nice. All
with
right.
school. Yeah.
That sounds like a
So
really
I just went off like this is just
no.
history
No,
lesson,
but this
like
is like
major
that's
history.
what that's what I'm here for. I wanna know what makes Ben tick. I want to know how
Yeah.
you became you, how you
Yeah.
approach content because you're a fascinating creator. Actually, selfishly, I was really
Interesting.
excited that you're gonna be the first one because I'm gonna try
Wow,
it.
thanks. Yeah, I'm also glad to just be interviewed, honestly. Being a person being interested in you is always kind of cool.
I'm glad you find it cool because it's a little late to back out now. Uh,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, now I'm already in it. Ben,
uh,
yeah, Ben is my real name. Vortex for asking. Okay, yeah, chat knows. I'm sorry,
yeah,
I'm
chat.
getting distracted by
I'm
chat.
trying my best to blow off chat because I'm so used to being like, "What's chat saying? What's chat saying? What's chat saying?" And then now it's just like, Ben, it's just us. We're hanging out. It's good. So I'm
Yeah,
really.
so yeah,
Mhm.
that was my school. So and yeah, then after school finished, I'm now studying film basically in
Yeah,
another like sort of private school or like a SIA. It's like a worldwide thing that's
that sounds
like
familiar
around the
actually.
world.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like this creative school which used to be school for audio engineering, but then they broadened their horizon and also do
Mhm.
like gaming, visual arts, film, and all that stuff as well.
I love that. So how did you make that jump? Because you're coming from this high
Exactly.
intensity, like really demanding school. Now you were playing football 4 hours a day, but still saying
Yeah.
10 hours of your day at school is brutal on top of homework. And if you have, I'm assuming your school gives you homework. You don't
Hmm.
develop usually a good reputation if you're not working people outside the classroom as
Yeah.
well. Then
Yeah.
you make this jump to pick from language, which is very strict. Here's your word, here's your definition, here's how to use it, to
Yeah.
creativity, filmmaking, and it bleeds into your
Well,
content. How do
the
you?
thing is,
Okay.
so you could say that I kind of grew up watching television, sort of like
Okay.
television was always one of my favorite things to do, watching SpongeBob, all the like Network series that would broadcast in Austria. Like I
Nice.
used to love those. I was just like I love the TV so much, and I still love watching movies and everything. And I was always fascinated by it. And then one time when I was like 10 or 9, my dad gave me some footage from Christmas movies from like the last 3 years or so.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "Yeah, let's make Christmas movies out of the footage." And
Okay.
I actually made some really creative like videos where I was just like kind of fascinated by how good they were. I don't like to,
Mm-hmm.
show off or anything,
Oh
but
no,
at that moment I
have some
realized I
pride.
had kind of like a
Mm-hmm.
talent for that as well, for like editing videos, finding the right timing for cuts, managing the program, managing the layers
Mm-hmm.
of programming, because like video editing is basically working with layers and working with
Mm-hmm.
timing and effects mostly are with layers, but like it's a lot of timing. You have to really think about what needs to be at what place. And I was like 9, and then I figured out that I had a really good fun time just editing this thing and just making like this thing that I could just watch and other people can watch and enjoy.
Mhm.
So I started my YouTube at like I think I was 11 years old
Wow.
as Misterhabbla1. Misterhabbla. The name Misterhabbla comes from a YouTube video. My Turkish viewers know this video. It's this crazy guy on TV. He's famous in Turkey as well because he's kind of a
Okay.
meme over there. It's this guy. It's like this viral video of a guy just jumping up, screaming "Habla, habla," and me being half Persian as well. We
Okay.
would have an uncle who would also go like, "Habla, habla," when he would be pissed off, and the habla kind of developed through that. We would
Mhm.
just like one entire Christmas just talk like habla, habla
That's
whenever we would
amazing.
like try to talk to each other. It was kind of silly, but yeah, the 11-year-old mind has its ways. And then I typed in Mr. Habla, and that for some reason that name was taken. I was like,
Oh.
what? Okay, I guess Mr. Habla one it is.
It's
And
I kind of like
yeah,
that
but
though, because like there's two people in the world who have the same idea, but you get the one at the end of your name, right? It's like I'm
yeah.
I'm technically the first because I have the
Somebody was
one,
before me.
right?
No, somebody was before me. There's the original one, and then there's the number one, the clone.
Yeah, but it's like I like that the one's the second one. I actually think it increases the humor of the name. It's just like, well, it technically wasn't the first, but I do have the one. There's,
Yeah.
implication there. But I like that idea that you grasp onto this humorous aspect, the habla habla habla, and you just ran
And
with it.
I was 11 years old, so I made that YouTube channel, and I also made videos on it. I
Uh-huh.
used to make some. I hopefully still have them somewhere
All
because that
right.
would be like a very funny video to like react to those videos because I was
Uh-huh.
like speaking in like say like very bad English. It was still like understandable, but I still always tried to do my videos in English.
Mm-hmm.
And it was also funny because like I would make like videos around like YouTube videos as well, like say making videos around like Lady Gaga
Mm-hmm.
versus Charlie Bit My Finger, who's gonna get the 100 million first, because those were the most viewed videos at the
Yep.
time.
Good way
And
to
I would
get
make like a
viewers.
reaction video to like, oh my god, Charlie Bit My Finger just got just got beat by Lady Gaga, Bad Romance. We got to do something about this. I mean, the video got like 12 views, but
Hmm.
you got to
You gotta
make a
start
difference
though.
where you can. Yeah.
No.
And yeah,
Mhm.
that's and after like I think I did that for like a year where I would like upload once a week,
Mhm.
and then you're 11, and then like you people in school watch the videos as well. Some of them were actually kind of good, to be
Okay.
fair. Like actually, like I started to actually make semi decent content because I was inspired by things like Smosh, Ray William Johnson, some of the
An
German
equal
YouTubers
story.
as well.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, then I just after a while I just kind of stopped because school, sports, and just like hanging out with friends just was a bit more relaxing and less work because
Mm-hmm.
making videos is a hell of a lot of work.
It takes a lot from you, as you mentioned, layers, right? Timing, what clips go
Yeah,
where, what's the actual like,
yeah.
make sure they're all themed. There's a lot that goes into it.
It was a
Um,
lot. It is a lot, and I noticed that back then as well. So I stopped doing that for a while, and yeah, then I did like not do movie, and I knew I was always gonna study film even in school,
hmm.
so that I took my A levels in arts as well,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and I tried to get on some various film schools, but I didn't make it
Hmm.
because I just didn't have enough routine back then because I stopped doing it for like I'd say 4 or 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to the private school where you didn't really need a submission, obviously taking the easy route, I guess that kind
That's
of
okay.
helped.
You
But
worked what you had.
yeah, and then I met Saba. So I met a guy named Saba Tsafic. His name he uses his name for everything, so I think I'm allowed to say his name. He has his he makes music videos for his friends from Bosnia, but they both live in Austria.
Mm-hmm.
They were both born in Austria, and he makes music videos. And he was such a hustler. He
Hmm.
would like make all the music videos, like actual like proper productions, and he would do it all by himself. I was
Really?
good. I was on a few of his shoots as well as a little help, but realistically, the guy does everything himself, and at that point, I was so inspired just
Mm-hmm.
because I already started playing Gwent back then, beta Gwent, and then Homecoming happened. And at that time, I was like, you know what? if he can do it, why can't I just do what I want to do and make, YouTube content around the video game I like to play,
Hmm.
because I love that as well,
Yeah.
So I did that, and the rest is history, I guess.
Yeah. Wow. There's so many things I want to dig into. But let's just go for the easy one, the one you just mentioned, this hustle mindset, right? Because I think that's an issue a lot of people like, universally have. They have what you're supposed to do. It's a very set path of go to school, have friends, relax a certain amount. Like there's almost a certain amount you relax. But then you meet somebody with this inspiration that gets you
Yeah.
into this hustle mindset. Do you like that mindset better? And how do you bounce that now? Because you clearly it sounds like you're still studying filmmaking. Is that right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
then
I
you're
got my first diploma, and now I'm working on my bachelor's degree.
awesome. That sounds awesome. And
Yeah.
you found your way down that path. And it took you some detours as well. But now you have this additional mindset while you're bouncing on this hustle mindset. How do you bounce that though? Do you like it?
Um, Wait, can you repeat the question? I'm
Like
sorry.
specifically you're balancing this like route to become a filmmaker or get into filmmaking, but you're simultaneously finding time to build out a YouTube channel, and you're very active. You put a lot of
Oh,
effort into
okay.
it too.
Yes. Okay.
How do you
Okay.
have time
That's
for
what
all
you mean.
that?
Well, the thing is, um, well, yeah, there were times where I didn't have a lot to do for film school. That's obviously when the uploads are more frequent. And in general, film school is very much about sort of like where there's like 2 weeks in every 3 months or so where you actually like really have to try hard
Hmm.
and like make projects and make things with other people. Other than that, it's usually like just lessons where you're being taught something you kind of already know.
Hmm.
And yeah, that's the beauty of film school. There's a lot of like actual like videos or memes about film school where there's like videos like film school in 20 minutes, and it's literally everything I learned in film school in 20 minutes, which is just kind of like the beauty
Hmm.
of it at the same time, because film school, the only reason you actually do the bachelor is so that you now, when you start working for a company as, say, for example, an editor or a cameraman, you
Hmm.
then with the bachelor have a set amount of payment you are going to get 100% for your work.
Interesting. It's like wait, is
And
that
that
like a law or it's just like understood?
Yes, that's just
Wow.
like that's just how Gewerkschaft. I think it's I don't know what it's called in English. Wait, let me just Google it real quick.
No
Give me a
worries.
second. Oh, actually, no, I don't have my Google on right now.
It doesn't matter. It's all good.
Yeah, so yeah, that's basically like when you have the bachelor, you basically are gonna earn more money in Austria, and
Hmm.
that's just how that works. So that's why I want to do that in case the YouTube doesn't work somehow and something happens in life,
Hmm.
and that you never know. So when you then can just like apply to like a film studio and then say, yeah, I have the bachelor here.
Hmm.
If you want to hire me, then just go ahead. But yeah, I think I do take a lot less time for YouTube and Gwent in general in the last 2 months because I started my bachelor again. I did have half a year off because of COVID because we weren't
Hmm.
able to make movies,
Yep.
obviously.
But during
And yeah,
I was gonna say that having access to YouTube during that time must have been helpful because you've been
yeah.
uploading
Oh,
like a
dude,
fiend.
I made so many subscribers in the first like month of lockdown. It was actually
Yeah,
kind of crazy.
you are a machine because one thing that's really noticeable about your YouTube videos, it didn't surprise me at all that you're in the filmmaking because you might have the highest quality YouTube content for Gwen there is. Your
Oh, thank you.
videos, well, you're welcome. You don't know, thank you. It's objective, right? When I go like this, everyone in chat knows what I'm doing, but you are basically inserting a comedic skit at the start of almost all your videos, at least the recent ones. And
Yeah, well,
everyone's different. It's incredible. How do you even have time? Like, time was one thing that came to my mind. How do you have time to even think of this? But
oh,
also, like,
that's
mhm,
that's the beauty of it. The thinking
okay,
part is probably the thing that takes the least for me. I go to
really,
sleep and I just have ideas running through my mind. A lot of times I would have like 3 ideas. Back in the days when I was kind of like free to do whatever card I wanted because I didn't already do pretty
uh
much
huh,
every card in the game already.
uh huh,
Um, I there were just like ideas for cards, intro ideas. So I would like pop off like sometimes, oh, I wanted to play this card. Can I make an intro around it? Or sometimes it would be like, oh, I have an intro idea.
mm-hmm,
This card fits perfectly for it, right?
interesting.
So yeah, you could
Goes both
say
ways.
it
Hmm.
kind of comes naturally to me to think of these weird ideas with the context. And
Hmm.
like, I'm not sure if it's cringe or not, like, because I think it has to be slightly cringe, and it has to be sort of, but it has to be packaged with love, let's say, for example, in this case. Because like,
Hmm.
I have a love for the craft, and I do put a lot of
Hmm.
effort in, and the people do realize that. So I'm always grateful for that, and I want to always try and make the best possible videos, because why wouldn't I? Because
Hmm.
I also want to make myself happy, because I have quite high standards for genuinely like YouTube content. And yeah,
Hmm.
so that's like, I
No.
just love,
Hmm.
I also love just impressing myself, because trying ambitious ideas and then just it working, it's always nice, because I had to
Hmm.
scrap some ideas. For
Uh-huh.
example, I tried to make a sort of deep fake with Avengers at some point.
Okay, that's
That
bold.
failed miserably. I had to scrap, like, I think it was like 2 hours of work, because it just
Ooh,
didn't look good. And it was like, ah, shit, I'll just have to film it regularly in the kitchen with the same dialogue,
interesting.
and I just add the music in the background. So yeah, that's just, sometimes it works like that. Sometimes you just have to scrap ideas as well, because they're just too complicated. But I also, the fact that I know how to edit, I
Hmm.
know how to like film, and I've learned all of these things in film school. I can work as effectively as possible, because I always think as the perspective of the editor
Hmm.
that then receives the footage
Hmm.
and knows what to do with it, right? So
Yep.
there's a vision, and then there has to be sort of like an execution to go with it as well, always. So
No,
yeah, that's why I just love doing it, man. It's just
it's good.
I
I
just
feel
love it.
you. I feel that love. I know for me, I also find that love where when you find something that clicks, you just go. When you get in the zone and your mind is like, this is like, it's effort, but it's so
Yeah.
satisfying. Tell me, I want to know a bit more about that ambitious bit because I think that's something that comes to my mind a lot and like the cringe bit as well, where
Hmm.
you can't please everyone. And so like
Yeah.
yes, so one thing I do on my stream is when somebody follows. This has been very effective to growing what I call the Plain Talk families. That's my group name.
Yeah. Okay.
As I go, I give them a crazy intro. I give them all. I do my best to make them all unique. I'm like, "Welcome to the
That's
Plain
good.
Talk
That's nice.
family," and then I just yell, and I'm like, "Thank you for joining us as we go trekking across Russia to find an ice cream stand." And then I tell plug all the socials on it. It's this crazy intro. And yesterday on stream, someone came on and was like, "Please, please stop, John. Don't do that. Don't do that, John. It's so cringe." And I'm like, "Too late. The
Yeah.
deed's done."
Exactly.
And I feel like I feel.
What I
Mhm,
find, this was very important. I mean, this is, I think I said this before the interview.
mhm,
If you want to make movies or films, I feel like you need a certain amount of arrogance to yourself. Like, look at
100%.
filmmakers like Scorsese,
Uh
Quentin
huh.
Tarantino, Steven Spielberg.
Yep.
Don't you think these guys have like a massive ego of themselves and their vision, and the fact that they
Yeah.
can realize that vision?
100%.
I have the
100%
same for
agree.
my videos as well.
Mhm.
So whenever somebody says, uh, "Oh, I was expecting this in the intro, and I was expecting this," I'm like, yeah, sure, it could have been,
Mhm.
but it didn't. So move on. It was still a
Yeah.
decent intro in my eyes, you know.
You.
Sometimes it does get to you. We're like, ah, damn, I did miss that though. I did miss
Uh
that. Once my dad
huh.
told me
Mhm.
something, I was like, ah, shit, I could have done that.
Mhm.
But yeah. So
Yeah.
I
I
don't know.
think.
I think it's also important to ignore the fact that, like,
Mhm.
accept the fact that it's gonna be cringe to some people, because they're
Mhm.
just like, soulless. And in my eyes, then they're soulless. They're like, yeah, they can't skip. If you're just like, if you're taking your time to tell someone they're cringe about like an intro,
Mhm.
instead of just skipping the intro and just moving on to whatever you want to watch,
Yep.
you've already lost. Like, you've already lost. It's just like, whatever. To me, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm happy when I'm happy with my intro. I'm happy with my intro.
Nice.
Sometimes I'm not happy with the ideas, so I'd like scramble around, and sometimes I try to salvage it. Sometimes I'm also kind of uh a bit, yeah, a bit sort of like underwhelmed with some intros, but at the end of the day, it's like, that's also an important part about YouTube and what I do, is sometimes I have to
Mhm.
accept that the idea isn't perfect.
Yeah.
And sometimes that even like, sometimes videos intros like that got some crazy reception where I was
Nice.
like, "What? How did they?" Ah? Some
Uh-huh.
guys say, "Oh, best intro ever." I think back to like some of the other intros I had before. I'm like, "No way is that the best intro that I ever made." Like that's literally impossible. But I guess to
Uh-huh.
that person it was. So if that works, I guess that works.
Yeah, so I think you nailed a lot of the things that are important for a creator. I completely agree. First, I think to be a creator of anything, you have to be arrogant to some degree. You have to have an ego, and it has to be bigger than average. Because you basically are saying, I'm so good at doing something by myself or with other people, but as the lead, I'm gonna bring it into the world because I know you're gonna like it. The
Yeah,
last bit is hard because some people will like it and others won't. You can't please everybody. But sometimes you bring it
exactly.
in, they're like, you have it resonates hard, it doesn't. Now, as a creator, I feel you with that perspective of you bring something in, you're like, I think this is garbage, and people are like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Sometimes you're like, I spent 16 hours on this, and they're like, it's trash, John, average at best, and I'm
Yeah.
like, come on. But I find that dialogue really interesting, where you create for yourself in a sense because you have that ego. You have to be confident to bring it in, uh, and
Yeah.
then of course everyone gets to view it and judge it. And then sometimes you have to say, yeah, but you're all wrong. I know this is great, and I'm gonna double down. And eventually you're gonna come to my side. And sometimes you have to say, oh yeah, it really
Yeah.
was trash.
Exactly. Also, the thing for me is a lot of times I don't really think too deeply about the intros, less than I
Uh huh.
think about the gameplay, dude. Like, there is some
Mm-hmm.
cringe gameplay from
Oh my
my side.
gosh.
A lot of game. I used to not cut a single game out of my
Uh huh.
videos, but nowadays I film like so many more games and only show like either the ones where I win or the one where complete
Uh huh.
BS just ruins my day and I can complain about it the entire game throughout
Interesting.
and the
Okay.
people would accept it because it was complete BS. But the games where I like make really stupid decisions, I tend to cut those out. But yeah, for me
Interesting.
it's I'm less motivated. Usually, I get the intro done, and I'm like, oh, okay, sweet. I get to edit the intro. Editing intro is
Mm-hmm.
my favorite part of this whole thing.
Interesting.
Now I
Okay.
have to edit the crap
Gameplay.
gameplay, and it's so much more relieving sometimes when you play and you know you have like 4 games,
Mm-hmm.
100% that are like good gameplay, even if you lost.
Okay.
So that's always nice. I'm more happy about that a lot of times than about the intros because I usually trust myself enough with the intros, but with the gameplay and some of the
Mm-hmm.
decks, especially this last one was a bit
It's all.
iffy. It's just yeah, sometimes it really hurt to upload a video. I sometimes just uploaded videos because of the intro, and I just was like, all right, the gameplay is just could be put in the bin, but whatever.
Uh-huh.
We're attaching this garbage to this intro because it just has to be because I can't film
Mm-hmm.
like another like 45 minutes of just gameplay because I have
Right.
to edit it as well. I edit the
Mm-hmm.
gameplay, like
Interesting.
pretty much every other Gwent content creator. So
Yeah, you do
yeah,
you do a lot more. Like mine, I view it as like a systematic process. It's like A, B, C. It's just a checklist for me of how it works for my YouTube. For most of the content, it's and sometimes you're like, John, can we have an intro? And my response is no. There will be no intro because I tried intros. I can't do an intro nearly as good as you can. I can't. I don't have that comedic timing and the skills to really pull it all together. But I realized that my viewers are like, they want to see me win. They want the funniest games possible. I'm like, good. I will give you experiment. I'm like, do you want to see me lose? And they're like, I'll disengage with it. I'll watch it less, and all. I don't care if you. I want to see just wins. If you are not, I don't care if the opponent is just like vomiting blood while they're playing, and they're literally playing their entire hand left to right. I just want to watch you win in the funniest way possible. I'm like, fine. But but you,
yeah.
I know you have a time constraint. You're in school full time. I'm the lunatic that quit my job and just burned through their savings and seeing what they can do.
Oh
Um,
wow.
it's a different approach. I have a low risk tolerance for money, a high risk tolerance for time. So I'll bet
All
time.
right, that's an interesting aspect. That's something that might do in the future because I'm thinking of moving out this year out of
Nice.
my parents' house, and I think that's going to be a very big decision for me because I think if I live alone or like with a roommate,
Uh huh.
I'm free to do more streaming, more Gwent gameplay, just be more by myself and not have to like worry about other stuff pretty much. I still have to
Uh huh.
focus on school, of course, but
Yeah.
I'll be more, I don't, I can stream because I don't have to be scared to be like that loud for that long because my
Yeah.
parents have to work the next day. So I can just like go
Interesting.
ahead and do stuff and just,
Yeah, and
not
there's
be
also a
dependent
sense
on
of, I
when
think,
they do
growth that
stuff.
comes when you step outside. Like you also, I
Yeah.
think, as a filmmaker and and many creative, especially creative types, they need to keep putting themselves in new uncomfortable environments to grow. At least that's my perception. I know I personally grew a lot because of my travels. When I went backpacking Europe for a month, we talked about that earlier,
Yeah.
prior to the interview, where I never been to Europe, I never been backpacking, and never been alone traveling. So I'm like, you know
Yeah.
what? Might as well package all three together and go for it.
Yeah, and the
And
thing is, like,
mhm,
the idea of growth never really came to my mind before I had a girlfriend, and I've
ooh,
realized now with a girlfriend, she also
mhm,
helped me grow a lot, like as a person. I need to sort of step out of the nest and kind of like step out in the cold, cruel world and just do my
mhm,
own stuff and figure it out by myself. Because otherwise, you have to like. This is the thing about growing up. I think is just you can't just slowly, steadily grow up. You kind of have to just jump into the cold water
yep,
and get a feel and just have to like try and survive basically. There's no like
uh huh,
you either survive or you don't, right? In that
yeah,
case, if you don't, you just go back to your parents and just like try to maybe earn some money some way. But yeah, I feel like
yeah,
growth for me it was definitely my girlfriend that helped me realize that I just need to not be dependent on my parents anymore and kind of just depend on myself and what I
nice.
do and maybe uh yeah, just
Mhm. Yeah, no,
survive
I going with
alone.
that, and
And
yeah,
I feel like
grow.
I can right now at the moment. I feel like I can.
Nice. Well, I think everyone. I'm a believer that anyone, most people in life, personal belief, do not hit their full potential. There's a good chance I'm not gonna hit my full potential at something. There's just so many things to be good at, and you've one life, and there's only 24 hours in a day, which is really unfair. Like just 24. Why not like 30? I could do so much more of 30 hours per day,
Yeah,
but that's
it's
not how it works.
time is relative, my friend.
True.
Time is relative.
But what I will say is like you pick where you grow and getting out into that mindset of growth is key and being comfortable with being uncomfortable. Growth sucks.
Exactly.
Because
Yeah, grow it. You
it's
have to just
awful.
step out of your comfort zone. I just like
Exactly.
don't like doing that. I've been making YouTube videos comfortably from my home with my parents, not have to worry about food, not have to worry about cleaning
Hmm.
stuff, not have to worry about, you know, if I'm gonna remain here for another month or not. It's just, I have to just jump into cold water, sink and swim. I read
Uh-huh.
it somewhere in chat.
Yeah, and I like it. And sometimes you sink. So I know
Mm,
the first time I really moved out of my home was right after college. There
mm.
was family pressure, at least on my dad's side. At least, let me specify, for my dad's sake. My dad really wanted me to have a job right out of college because his father
Oh,
wanted him to have a job right out of college. And
okay, yeah.
I was pretty lazy about applying. I'll be really honest. I didn't want to apply because it took effort. I didn't really care about a rejection. I just didn't know what I wanted to do. I had an international relations degree, and I was like, I don't really know what to do with this. So,
Oh,
but
yeah, okay.
but I had a job offer from a startup. A startup was gonna pay me nothing. I was gonna be on the ground floor. I was gonna be employee number one. So I went for it,
Oh, okay.
and I burned out 8 months later. I completely
Oh, yeah.
burned out.
Startups are tough. Startups are, I think, probably one of the
Yeah,
biggest like burnout reasons for a lot of people.
yeah, it
We
definitely
learned
is.
that in university recently.
They're brutal.
That
You make
startups, a
no
lot of
money. You
startups
have
fail.
wait. What did you say? Sorry, I apologize. Cut you off. Hmm.
Yeah, no, like we had that in
Mm-hmm.
our university. We recently like got courses on like self-sufficiency and like how to make your own company and how to,
Mm-hmm.
create a startup basically. And yeah, they basically told us that a lot of startups just fail.
Mm-hmm.
There's the curve. They showed us this curve that there's like this very low point when if they overcome that low point, like sometimes it's literally impossible. They even told us sometimes it's quite literally impossible to overcome
Uh
that
huh.
low point. But when you do, it's just gonna work out like in your favor pretty much.
Yeah, and a lot
Say
of them.
90% of the time.
Yeah, I think it's important to know also with that is so the company's still doing fine actually. They're continuing
Oh,
to grow and
okay.
such. I just burned out. It wasn't that the
Oh,
startup failed.
okay. Okay.
I failed.
Okay.
I
Oh.
I
Oh
sunk,
well.
which is fascinating. But I would like to say I've ended up on my mom's couch for 6 months after that. I was trying to
Yeah.
re-find who I was because I was just crashed as a human being emotionally, and then
Oh
had to
yeah,
go find a new job.
I can imagine.
So,
Yeah, there was this time after school ended for
uh-huh,
me as well when we in Austria you're obliged to take civil service.
interesting.
When you turn 18, basically you have to do it before 35, or you have to pay like a
Fine.
you have to pay basically.
Okay.
And yeah, I did work for the ambulance, so um
Wow.
that's they just throw you right into. I mean, you have a course and everything. You
Mm-hmm.
obviously have you're kind of just working as a third man to carry stuff, throw away stuff, pretty much. But you do see some crazy shit on the field. I
Yep.
did see some really crazy stuff.
I imagine.
I
Could you?
also did save a
Mhm.
life, to be fair. So
Wow, that's
yeah,
incredible.
I did do CPR
CPR? Yeah, yeah.
CPR
When
yeah
you're pushing on
CPR
the chest. Yeah, yeah.
while they were getting the tube for the breathing, and then immediately after the first breath he was already
Wow,
back to us, back with us.
that's
So
intense.
yeah, that was a really crazy experience. But that kind of might have been the only really crazy experience though. But like all the other stuff was kind of like more just really uh just, just tough, annoying work, carrying fat people upstairs. Not a good, not good
Mm-hmm.
for your back at all,
Nope.
and just for your mental health, especially some of them, being homeless and or just like being smelly ass people.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Because it's tough, right? It's
it's
civil service, not exactly.
yeah,
I don't think it's
exactly.
designed
It's
to be
not great,
glamorous. I've never.
but
Mm-hmm.
once that was over, I had no idea what to do. Basically, I knew I was gonna study film, but I just like didn't do anything. Oh,
Interesting.
like I was just smoking weed and watching anime, dude. That's just literally all I did.
I know that pain. After the burnout, after the start job, it's basically the same thing for like 3 months. I just didn't know what I was doing. I was tired,
Yeah,
and
yeah, but,
so I didn't smoke
yeah,
weed.
you just have to. And then I started with
Nice.
school. It didn't get
Not
much
a
better,
vampire.
but yeah, Saba did
Mhm.
change a lot about like my motivation to do stuff.
Yeah, and it sounds like so. Is this the civil service? Is it after the language school, but before you went to film? Like,
Yes,
okay,
exactly,
cool.
exactly,
You have the timeline
exactly.
right. But then,
Yeah,
but now you have
that's
this. Now you have a
time.
girlfriend, and you're having this. This sounds like you really are more interested in pushing yourself. It's on your mind
Yes,
now.
yes. It's just, I've been in my comfort zone for so long now. Like pretty much every year of my life, I've just been in my comfort zone
Mm-hmm.
to a pulp. Apart from I guess those 6 months in the civil service, and I need something like that again, basically, where
Uh huh.
I'm put to work and I have to do things that I don't want to do, but I have to do them so I can earn money and make a living, and just, I still have money from that job, by the way, because I
Nice.
was living at home, living from home, and
Yeah.
didn't really have to, pay money for anything realistically. So I
Yeah.
guess I kind of got lucky with a little head start in that case,
Well, it's
but
smart. You
yeah.
sacrifice the pleasure of living alone and buying your own
Yeah,
food. And you said,
exactly.
you know what? My parents like me, and why not get that leg up? One thing I
Mhm.
found a lot in life. So I feel like I have a lot of privilege. Born in the States, in the United States, college education is unbelievably expensive for most people. If you
Oh
want to
yeah,
go to the best
I
school
know.
you can. But I have one of my grandparents was wealthy, and so they paid for the entire tuition. So I had like a leg
Oh
up
wow.
on everyone, and I found out that there's no bonus points. No one's keeping score saying like what's fair or not. It is all unfair, but it's what you do with it. So it seems
Yeah.
like the way I'd view it, if I might just randomly toss an opinion, you've had some opportunities, right? You had a private school for language.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no,
That's
I'm
what
not
I
saying I'm like the poorest guy ever. I'm
no.
actually really lucky to
Yeah.
be where I am right now because of my upbringing and the fact that, I mean, I'm not
Hmm.
saying like we're rich, but we do have like
Yeah.
good money.
You have
We are gonna
resources.
survive. I'm gonna survive even like if everything fails, I can always go back to my
Yeah.
parents because
And that's
we
wonderful.
just
And what I want to
have
say is
everything kind
take
of.
advantage of it. If this is going to give you an opportunity to grow, and then you as a better human being can produce more interesting films and entertainment, or however you wish to give back to the world, why not? As long as your goal in life is like
Yeah.
not to like mass oppress people, in order to support the system. But it doesn't exactly strike me about the conversation we're having. It sounds like you just want to grow and do things that bring joy to the world. Like, that's awesome. So I hope you keep growing. And
Yeah,
taking
thank you. Me too. I really hope so too, for my own sake as well.
Yeah, and if you end up on your parents' couch, I can tell you, at least my mom had a very comfortable couch. After sleeping there for about 6 months, I got quite used to it. But if you end up there again, you've been there. Low risk, high
Yeah,
reward. If you
yeah,
pull it off.
exactly,
I like it. I like it.
exactly.
Uh, that's awesome. And then so you do really just Gwent content on your YouTube channel. Like, I looked through it. You did a couple game reviews here or there. And I know when I do that on my channel hates that. They're like, John, how dare it's not Gwent? But you've done Gwent for so long. Do you think you're gonna keep sticking with Gwent? Or are you gonna try to experiment more?
Well,
Like, what's
I
the
did do
future?
a Witcher review. I did make a Netflix Witcher review.
Yeah, you did. There's like you did some Legends of Runeterra stuff, Last of
Yeah,
Us.
yeah.
Though I will say my favorite of all your non-Gwent content was the first video on your channel. Do you remember
Oh
it?
yeah, the hunger. Yeah, of
I
course I remember.
loved Hunger. So I don't know if for the viewers that haven't probably seen it, you guys should absolutely.
Yeah, my girlfriend loves hunger too. My girlfriend loves hunger.
really? It's
I think everybody loves
Oh
hunger.
my gosh, if you've
It's
not
kind of
watched
like you
this,
can see where it all started. You
it's
can kind of see like
100%. It's brilliant. It's
yeah.
brilliant. So for chat, if you guys have not seen this, for viewers, anyone watching this, you've got to go to Misterhabbla1's YouTube channel, click subscribe, and then
It's literally you go oldest to
Oldest to
newest,
newest.
and it's quite
Yeah.
literally the first one with
Yeah.
it's like literally my first video currently on the channel.
Yeah.
There are some other ones, but those are private.
Yeah. Well, we
So
all have a video or two that we turn off, and as time goes on, you start to cleanse out the backlog. But Hunger is amazing, and make sure again subscribe when you're going to
thank
sort
you.
this. But let's talk
That's
about it, because
funny.
in
Yeah.
that video you eat an eggshell.
Oh yeah, I do.
That
That was
was
I haven't eaten eggs since.
You haven't eaten egg since? Oh, eggshells or
No.
eggs?
No eggs, like just
Really?
egg like omelet. No, I just I need to I still I think I could eat it now. Maybe I did eat like one or
You
two since then, but
wait.
that was kind of traumatizing.
You wait.
I'm not
Are
gonna.
you are
That
you
shit was
serious?
disgusting.
Are
That
you?
shit was
You
disgusting.
developed a taste aversion to eggs when shooting that video? That you just don't want to eat eggs
Yeah.
after it? Oh my gosh, that is so funny. Talk about creative brilliance and yet kind of a horrific
Uh,
result.
yeah, no, I think it was like 2 weeks afterwards. We had like breakfast. So I was like looking at the egg. I was like, "Fuck, that's disgusting." Maybe it's not as bad now because I don't remember it anymore as much as I did.
Oh my gosh. Uh,
But yeah, that
that's
is the shock factor of that was. I did upload that to Reddit as well. It didn't do anything. I mean, if I upload it to Reddit now, maybe it could get some views, I guess, because I do have some followers on there now.
Yeah, I really liked it. I thought it shows everything that goes into your shorts and also just editing in general. The
Mm.
oldest video, it's like 3 years old. The rest of your stuff is 2 or younger. And you have good jump cuts, you have an idea, you're playing with filters, you have a comedic value, you reference things like Shrek, Rick and Morty. It was just great. I loved it. But I think for me it shows that permutation. Would you ever bring to your YouTube channel more stuff like that? Because it wouldn't be Gwent stuff. It wouldn't even be video game
Yeah, I
stuff.
definitely would love to do something like this. It's just, as I said, right now I'm still in my comfort zone. I need to get out of there at some point. But
Uh-huh.
I think once the cinemas open again in Vienna, I think I want to do like more movie reviews. Just,
Mm-hmm.
On a side note, like because
Nice.
I could
Well,
just
you're in
jump in front of a camera and talk
filmmaking.
about a
Uh-huh.
movie.
Makes sense. You have
Exactly.
expertise. Yeah, but you're gonna have some strong
Yeah.
opinions, I bet. What is your favorite movie, if you don't mind me asking?
Seven Samurai from Akira Kurosawa.
Ooh, okay, I've not seen it, but I should say that because awkwardly,
It's 3.5 hours. You need to take like a day off for that, pretty much.
that's fine. I mean,
Three and a half.
that's fine.
Not over.
If it'll be a movie I like, I'll do it. The problem with me is I
Yeah.
don't like most movies, so it's very hard. Which is
Well,
I'm so sorry. Like,
do you like anime?
I do like anime.
Well, I
So,
think you're gonna like that. I mean,
yeah.
the movie's you can see like all the influences it has on pretty much a
Really?
lot of Japanese like culture.
Interesting.
The way everything's so energetic, the acting is very over the top, but it's also like really like part of the story. It works because like these characters are over the top, but
Mhm.
they have to be, otherwise the emotion isn't conveyed as much, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the shots, the way the shots are built up, like I remember I saw this. I mean, I got to watch this movie because of Every Frame of Painting. He
Mm-hmm.
talks about how every shot Kurosawa creates has movement in it, and movement
Uh-huh.
is part of what makes him good. Like if a shot is if it's like a still shot, it still has like wind, rain, a flag
Uh-huh.
that's
I
waving,
like it. Okay.
and it's really like it engages you so much. Your eyes are always on screen. You always want to know what's going on, and it's in black and white, but it's so beautiful still. Like you,
Mm-hmm.
the fact that it is in black and white makes it so much better as well. Especially like there's one scene where they're on like this rose or like flower field, but it's like
Mm-hmm.
all white, and it's so like you don't know what it
Yeah.
looks like, but it's so beautiful still because it's like I don't know, it's just a very aesthetically pleasing movie,
That's
even
awesome.
if it is not in color. So yeah, I would
Yeah.
definitely
Mm-hmm.
recommend this. Like all like from mainstream movies, I do like a lot of the I think Infinity War is one of my favorite
Oh, it's
movies as
good.
well
I actually liked it.
because
Mm-hmm.
yeah, because it's just so it's like the definition of like modern cinema of like I don't know how eight was it 8 12 movies
Yeah. It
leading
was.
up to one like movie where
Yeah. The
kind of
MCU.
like half the main characters die in the end and the bad guy wins.
It was
Like
great.
whoa,
I
it
loved it.
was
So
so good. It was the like I watched it twice in cinemas, and both
it's so funny. I
times I
did
was
too.
like so awestruck, like jawstruck. The
Yeah.
only like when I rewatched the movie, the only scenes that I skip are with Wanda and Vision.
Yeah.
Other
And
than that,
that's
I
the weakest
always
part of
watch the
it.
movie like all the way through,
So,
all the way through.
here's my story of that. It's so funny because I don't really like film, but I saw everyone blowing up about it. Now, I remember watching the original Avengers when it came out in theaters, and I hated it. I thought it was terrible. I'm
Oh
like, this is a film of just superheroes doing superhero stuff. There's nothing interesting going on here. It's just like, let's get the best actors, shove them in a film, and go. And I'm sure everyone in chat's gonna hate me for that, and every YouTube comment's gonna be bitter for that. But I didn't. I really think Avengers wasn't that great.
yeah, I
But
can see why people wouldn't like it, honestly.
yeah, so but the third one, everyone's blown up about it. I'm like, what's all the buzz here? So I go, this is gonna hate you're gonna hate me for this. I go on Wikipedia and I pull up Infinity. I'm like, I'm never gonna watch this film. Like, what is so great about this? Because everyone blows about all these random films. I don't like them and ignore it. But what's so great about this one? Read the plot. I'm like, all right. Going online, booking my ticket. I must see this in person. This is the plot. This is how it's gonna be for this film. Is the bad guy's gonna walk away? And I'm like, I gotta see this live. Saw it twice. It was great. Which I know is
Yeah,
not how you're supposed to. You're supposed to go in and get shocked, but like, I dislike so many films that it's just not worth my time. But
yeah,
as
I
soon as I
know.
read it, I'm
I
like,
feel
yeah, I want to see that. And then as soon as my cousin came with a visit, I'm like, we're going to see it. You haven't seen it? We're going to see it. It's gonna blow your mind.
that.
And I actually agree with the Vision, Rwanda. I don't really get what's going on there. All the other characters are very self-explanatory. I get what their
Yeah,
plot is.
because no, the main protagonist of the movie is Thanos.
Yes,
All the
and
other characters are kind of like
exactly,
his the bad
100%.
guys technically.
And
It's
that's why it
so
works
good.
because it brings all these
Yeah,
films together I have not seen. But the reason it works is Thanos is developed and explained, and we're viewing
yeah,
everything through his interaction of the other characters. So he's my main character, and it works. And just I remember watching a video on it, and like even the colors of different fight scenes, it's made sure that this scene is like red, this scene is bluish. Like it
yeah. It's
all everything was split apart perfectly. So
because
that
like the first Avengers is so desaturated. Like all the
uh huh,
colors,
everything is
it's so
colorful
gray.
and it's boring. There's no
Yeah,
stylistic to it, and that it was so well done. I didn't even see the second Avengers movie. I just went into the third one and I loved it, and then I watched the fourth one and
yeah,
loved
it's
it.
great. It's great.
And
Yeah, the
I'm
fourth
not
one
gonna
isn't as good though. The fourth one, I mean, the
ooh,
fourth one I still like it,
agree. It's
but
fine. They needed a way to wrap
yeah,
things up, and it was just like the we'll make sure everyone gets a part kind of a
yeah.
movie. But the third one was the masterpiece by far.
Yeah. Another like one of my favorite movies of all time is definitely Kung Fu Panda 2. Now that is a very controversial choice
That is a
to
very
say,
specific choice.
but dude, that movie is so good. Like as a sequel to like this kids movie, it has so much depth and so much like I mean, okay, not depth, but it has like scenes where you're like really like invested in like the character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Kung Fu Panda is just a very good franchise, I would say. And the second one is a really good movie. Like I saw this and I knew I wanted to see it, and I was really hyped about it. Usually
Mm-hmm.
when I'm hyped about movies, they really let me down. But I was kind of
Ah,
hyped
I
about
know,
this one
right?
because I really enjoyed the trailer for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
And then I watched it and I was like, what the hell is I watched it with like a bunch of kids around me. I'm like, holy shit, this is good.
That's awesome.
Like,
It's so
yeah.
rare that a sequel lives up.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
like I
mhm.
have a weird taste in music. I mean, I have wait, I can actually show you, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah,
I have
yeah, yeah. You gotta show me.
this poster of all movies I should see and I should have seen. Like these are like
Nice.
250 movies you
Okay.
should see. It's like a bucket list.
Nice. I like it.
And I have like half of them. I have half of them
That's
done.
really good. You're just getting started. You've plenty of time. You're gonna need to get a list after that one. You're gonna clean that out probably before the another 10 years is up.
Well, I haven't watched any of these movies since I got this, so it's
Bad
hard to
sign.
actually like sit down and like be like, yeah, I'm gonna watch this exact movie right now. You know, it's gotta feel, you gotta feel it, or like
That's
you have to. I like being with people as well when I watch movies.
oh, it's interesting.
Watching movies alone,
Mhm.
I get too distracted. I like watching TV shows alone because I can get like distracted. Because like
Uh-huh.
TV show, that's a thing I feel like with TV shows a lot of times,
Mhm.
um, it's a lot of filler, right? Because you have
Yes.
to like you have more runtime, you have more ways to develop characters, so they just
Mhm.
add more dialogue scenes into the TV shows than usual. Just a
Yeah.
lot more talking, a lot more
Especially
exposition because it
anime.
kind of allows it to expand on the universe and stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
Mhm.
TV shows I can watch like on the side. Movies I kind of have to be invested in. That's I feel like movies do deserve that special treatment.
That makes sense. I
Unless
find
like a really
mhm.
bad movie, like I don't know.
Mhm.
When I saw Justice League, like the Snyder cut,
Uh-huh.
which still not a good movie, honestly. But I don't know. It's just a
I
lot
like
of people love it, but only
people
because they saw the worst version of it before and were like really disappointed.
reminds me of like Sonic the Hedgehog trailer 1 versus trailer 2 where they
Oh my
re-edited
god, that
everything.
thing was an abomination,
I don't
dog.
know
I'll be
how
honest.
anyone got that out the door. I've not seen anything
Yeah,
but the trailers. I like I like
yeah.
watching movie trailers. Maybe
It
not the
could have been
movies.
honest. It could honestly have been a good marketing strategy.
I mean, it
If it was
was.
intended,
If it
it's a
wasn't,
bang.
yes.
Because Sonic's kind of like a meme, and people kind of don't like Sonic because Sonic doesn't have any good games since I don't know
Yes.
how long. I mean, he has like one good game every 4 years, but he has a lot of garbage
Yeah, it's
video
like
games as
a
well.
25% chance roll the
So,
dice. I grew up on
mhm.
Sonic Adventure Battle 2 though, and that game, I don't know if people consider it good or
Oh,
not, but it's near and dear to my heart. Uh,
yeah.
I'm a
Also,
GameCube
gaming
kid.
wise,
Hmm.
I don't actually like first person shooters, so I would probably have stopped playing Gwent for like other games if I could, play like Fortnite and stuff. But I just don't like these games.
You,
I like the strategy type. I
mhm.
love Rocket League though. Rocket
Nice.
League is, but you're so limited in the content creation with Rocket League. It's just car soccer. I do like
Yeah.
Sunless Khan though. Shout out Sunless Khan if he's ever gonna watch this in his life.
Nice.
He's the Rocket League content creator that
Is
I
he? Myram.
yeah, but I think he makes good videos. He makes I watched him when he first like started uploading videos as well. I was like one of his first subscribers, like
Uh-huh.
first say 1,000, 2,000 subscribers.
Uh-huh.
So I like, and now he's like on a million. So it's like it's kind
Wow.
of crazy,
That is
crazy how that works.
amazing. Yeah, I find content creation for games actually surprisingly difficult, particularly competitive ones. I'll be honest, I
Mm.
would have probably never gotten into Gwent content creation if I couldn't hit pro rank. And also Gwent lends itself really well to creativity. Another game I like that I'm terrible at and will never do content for is Overwatch. The
Mm.
only first person shooter I've ever liked because it feels very memey when I'm playing it. I have all these
Oh, okay.
ridiculous characters doing ridiculous things. I'm terrible at it though. So I could never
Oh,
sit there and
okay.
be like, we have a new innovative way to play this character. Like, no, I'm too bad. Like the innovative thing is to do anything I'm not doing. I'm terrible.
Yeah, that's also why like I think I could never like make regular Legends of Runeterra content
Hmm.
because the game, like, I don't mind playing the game. I've played it like a bit this month, try to get back into it, and I do like it. It's just for games, for you to make content for games, you have to kind of have a full collection. You have to be on the highest level
Yes.
and just, be relatable to the viewer because the viewer might also have the same amount of knowledge that you have, and that is max amount of knowledge, right?
Uh huh.
So not being like or being like a noob can be entertaining, but it's very hard to sort of deliver and make on a consistent basis.
Correct.
That you are this noob that's trying to work his way up to the top.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, you're it's definitely difficult to not make video game like content, like regular video game content, and not know much about the game basically, or like not be good at the game, I think.
Yeah, or like you have to deliver some type of value. So here's a story where I failed miserably. When I first started streaming, I was trying to explain to somebody, and I should have just said, "Good job for trying to stream." He asked me, John, do you think I'll be a successful streamer?" I basically told him, "You're streaming Gwent, and you're ranked 25." No, no, you're not. I'm not saying that you're doing a terrible.
Oh,
I would do a terrible job. I was really stressed out when I first. I still
oh
am stressed out.
no. Oh god.
I know
Oh
it
god.
was so
Yeah,
bad.
that's
Because this guy, I give him all these resources. I'm like, do this, this, this. But eventually, asked me, "Am I gonna make it?" I'm like, "You're probably not gonna make it at Gwen. You might make it at something else." But I was supposed to say, keep trying, let him fail naturally, and let him try other stuff. But I
yeah,
totally told him
exactly.
like, no, you're not gonna make it. Like you're ranked
No, but I
25.
think chat
Huh.
actually said it best. I think noob content works on Twitch. Doesn't work that well
Well,
on YouTube though.
here's the way I view it: is the lower rank you are at a game, the worse off you are, the more your personality or creativity has to make up.
Yeah, yeah,
So
exactly, exactly.
Shroud is, my understanding, is like the best FPS player on the planet. He
Yeah,
is good whatever game he picks up. So he can pick up any game, be a top tier creator. It doesn't matter what his personality is. He can make great content.
yeah, yeah.
Tyler One from League of Legends has this over the top blown personality. He's not the best player in the world. He starts to flirt with top 500 North American, but that's not that big of a deal in League of Legends. Uh, as far as
I think it
content
is a pretty big deal in League of Legends. Top
well, it's
500.
North America for North America, and North America
Oh,
sucks
okay, okay.
compared to the rest of the
Okay,
world.
I don't know League. I just know that
No problem. It's
there's a
good.
lot of people who play that game.
Yeah, it's good, but it's not as good as like it's not as good as the pros are. But he makes up for it with personality in doing creative things like running tournament series, and
Yeah.
that makes him a very viable streamer. So when I came to, I know when I played Gwent, the reason I really thought that this might be more viable, I'd already failed 2 different ideas. So I quit my job to do what I wanted to do was teach personal finance to people. I quit in July. I used to
Oh
work in
wow.
finance.
Okay.
And then I failed 2 different ideas. Wanted to do a financial stream, failed miserably. And then I did a financial YouTube channel, failed miserably. That's why I have a green screen I don't use. Is I bought this for the financial YouTube idea. And now it just sits here. It is my green void that I stream out of. But I started getting really frustrated with the YouTube channel. So I started streaming Gwent. I just needed a different creative outlet to get my mind working. See if I could get some new ideas. And then I hit pro rank in 3 days. And I was like, okay, that's a little ridiculous.
How did you get a pro rank this quick?
They had just done a patch and nobody had figured it out. And I'd figured out very quickly that Unitless ST was busted very early on. And I crushed every deck I played. It was not close. It was before Madoc was out. But everyone was trying to run interactive decks. And my Unitless ST just crushed. It was one of the most one-sided slaughters I'd ever done climb-wise. And I got to there and I was like, oh, well, that was easy. I think I started off at like rank 12 or 13. I'd casually played it here there. And then, yeah, I wasn't like straight 25-0. But like 3 days later, I was just sitting there. I'm like, okay, hold on. I can actually stream this. So maybe my issue is I want to teach people like personal finance, how to live their life a little bit better, be a bit more thoughtful. What if I just back it up? So instead of going straight to a financial stream or financial YouTube, which is already saturated, do the gaming stuff and then slowly work in all the other stuff. You know, they're going to come in for the gaming entertainment and they might learn how to invest casually on the side. Who knows? It'll be a little bit of a this and that.
Who knows?
The trap the whole time. I'm going to teach you how to be successful.
We sell coffee and on the side you get geckos.
Exactly. Like, hey, you know, you're coming in your long day at work, no problem. You know, relax. And by the way, you know what an index fund is? Like, pa-chow, got you, baby. Now you're going to be successful in life.
You got a lesson. You got a life lesson, buddy.
Yeah, how's that feel? And so I thought that's what I did. So I started streaming and then I've had some success since then. Got a long way to go. I feel like I got mountains to climb, but climbed a lot farther than I thought I would. But I think it's it's part of the journey aspect and part of being like, in my eyes, to be a really great streamer, you probably need to be able to get pretty high up in Gwent or have a great personality, ideally both.
Yeah, obviously both is ideal, but I think top level, like just high level gameplay is definitely Like, I'm not saying my gameplay is high level, but I know what I'm doing, right?
Yeah,
I tend to know what I'm doing,
we've hit each
so
other in ladder a couple
sometimes it
times.
just works.
Uh,
Oh
like
yeah, we're still 1-1, right?
I think so. I
You
was
did
really
get me
tired when you
once.
ran into me the last time. And you're like, you kept set the score. I'm gonna go off the 1-1 you said. I don't even remember. You might have me
Yeah,
2-0. I don't. I go with the
I
1-1.
think one time, yeah, you tried to Caldwell bamboozle
Oh, did I
me.
try to? Ouch, ouch. Okay, that was a bad one.
And then
Uh,
I guess in round 2 you didn't draw your combo though, so you forfeited immediately, even though I was in a really bad
Oh,
spot. I
oh, I
remember that I
totally
did.
did. I remember that. I did because I told chat like I don't want to win a game because I can. I did probably I could play it out every time, win some games, but when I'm doing bamboozle,
Uh,
I want to win in one way. I want the other person to sit there and think about the life choices they made to click the pass button. Sit there and watch all their points disappear and have to know that they pushed the button instead of putting out a card because they got greedy. Like I just
that that
it
that
was
pass
good.
button, that pass button,
Oh my
that pass
gosh.
button does seem
Whether it's
tempting.
bamboozle or when they pass and a viper pops out and then all of a sudden I'm winning on points, it hits so good. It's so good. So
I've never
you
actually used Viper outside of just memes, like a one-off Viper.
no
Does that
viper
does that does
viper
that sound viable?
yeah no it doesn't because the problem is you need multiple vipers to go for the whole graveyard
Yeah,
quickly. Usually
exactly,
if you get one in
exactly.
there
Yeah,
it's going to take all
right.
year. If now it would be much more viable if he's eating the highest provision cards first. Because
Oh
then
yeah,
you play their
definitely,
echo card, eaten. You play your key, Maddock, eaten. That would be more interesting. But that's all right.
something like that. Yeah,
So
something like that.
what brought you to
But
meme cards? I know what got me started on the meme path, but what got you started? Because you are meme cards, I believe is how you do it.
well,
What brought you to it?
I always kind of built my own decks in Gwent. I played with in beta already, and I would always try like janky strategies because
Uh huh.
beta Gwent had a lot of janky
Oh my
strategy. You
gosh,
could
it
do a
was
lot of
great.
nonsense in beta
Beta.
Gwent. Like I always tried to make like Siri Dash, Mulligan, Elias decks. Those were my favorite ones to
Nice.
play. Also, I really enjoy. What else did I enjoy? I mean, yeah, like some of the early like the degenerate
Oh my
dwarf
gosh. Yeah,
strategies.
because Resilience carried
Uh,
over boost back then.
Armor and R before it was good. I played a lot of Armor and R before it was actually tier
Nice.
1 and I actually got some good results with it.
Mm-hmm.
Axeman when it was not busted
Uh-huh.
was also I
This is a
really
trend
liked
here.
that. And yeah, I just continued that in Homecoming. It's just I first wasn't really sure what kind of things to do. So my first actual like gameplay upload was a Meve deck that would beat Gurney Korra quite
Nice.
consistently.
Yep.
Back when Gurney Korra was tier 1.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I got that deck got me to like pro rank. And then the next video I did, I was like, can I like get the highest Aglaze? I was like, how tall can I make this Aglaze card? Because I've not seen anyone on YouTube try and play this Aglaze card. Why is nobody playing this Aglaze card?
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, all right, let's just make a video around Aglaze. And then I learned about like then double shoot was a thing with
Okay.
Emir. You used to be able to replay shoot. But then they obviously reworked Emir slightly.
Yep, I remember the
And then I was like, wait, but they didn't change anything about Francesca and decoy can kind of get Shoop
back
into my
again.
deck and then out of my deck and I can replay decoy with Francesca. So I was
Uh-huh.
like, triple Shoop actually is possible. Let's make a video on
Love
triple
it.
Shoop. And those are like my first like videos where I was like, all right, I'm gonna just do crazy videos because people love. I would love to watch crazy video ideas. So
Uh-huh.
why not just watch crazy videos ideas and why not just make crazy video ideas, right?
Yep.
It just makes sense because I just like to especially when I'm editing something and I edit the part where I pull off like the crazy combo. It's like I just watch it. You watch it again. You're like, God damn it, he friggin' did it, and
Oh,
thousands of other people are gonna see exactly that moment,
it's
and
so
that's just gonna
good.
be so cool.
It's so good. Even if you have to lose like 7 games to do it.
Yeah, sometimes it's worth it. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes you just never pull it off,
Oh
and
my
then you
gosh.
just kind of have to give
Well,
up.
I have a tendency when I fail it really bad. I try to do an Indie Infinite on a combo. It's a really easy combo. You just put on top of your deck, you give it to your opponent, so that they
Oh
put it in
yeah,
their
yeah, yeah,
hand,
yeah,
they
yeah,
play
yeah.
it,
That's a
become
good
double
one. That's a
cross,
good one.
then you go ahead and put it back in their hand so you can double cross it infinite amounts of
Yeah,
times.
I think the
Really,
idea that I'm
really easy.
me personally I'm most proud of was
Uh-huh.
Tibor reveal.
Okay. Oh,
I
okay.
think Tibor
Like
reveal was
hyper thing?
actually my creation. I think I was the
Really?
first person to
I
actually do
love it.
Tibor reveal. Is where I did this before Alchemist was in the game as well. So I put Tibor on top with, and then use Merchants of Fear to put Tibor in my opponent's deck,
Okay.
and then use Spotter and Vrygif to try and reveal the Tibor as many times as possible.
Oh, I like that. I ran it. So I ran a meme tournament like a month ago, and someone named Kasari was running that exact deck, basically giving your opponent. I think it meant an Imperial Golem, and then just started
Mm.
using spotters all of a sudden reveal. I'm like, I have no idea what your deck is. As Alchemist and as spotters, it's just
Yeah,
crazy, bro.
yeah,
If that's you. That's awesome. I don't know if I
yeah. That
mhm.
Yeah, I think I mean I don't think I made it that popular, but I think I was one of the first people to like make a video around it for sure.
No, I think that's super good in the community. I'm also big on the memes. I
Oh
think
yeah,
there
for sure.
is
I mean, I
a
know, I know you're a
uh-huh.
good memer. We memers, we must stick
We
together
do. We
at
stick
all
together
costs.
in the 2300 to 2400 MMR range. That is the
Hmm.
meme central where you run into people who are net decking and don't know what they're
Oh
doing,
yeah,
and then the meme players
oh
who
yeah,
know how to play their memes are there to drag them down a little lower.
yeah,
That's how I view
exactly,
it.
exactly.
You hit someone like I net decked a tier one deck, I don't know really what to do with it. I'm sitting across from me, I'm like, I have a salamander deck that you're gonna play work so hard on. I'm gonna
Yeah,
slap it with you at the end, you're gonna lose. You're gonna sit
yeah,
there and lament
yeah,
your life choices.
yeah. Overcommit. That I remember when you played that
Oh my
Salamander deck
gosh,
against
it's
me. That
so funny.
overcommit in round one, I was like, dude, this
Oh yeah,
guy's
that
either
was you. Okay, I did
so
run that one.
stupid or really, really
Uh-huh.
try to do some crazy shenanigans, and he just drew the nuts.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess you did draw the nuts.
Yep, and then you go
So
Salamander. See, your Salamander, it was such a crippling way. I watched people cry. Like, all of a sudden, they go from 100 points to 0, and they'd be like, ah,
yeah.
it was so good.
Also, a reason why I like playing, unique decks is I hate mirror matches.
Oh, God, they're the
I
worst.
hate,
Because I feel like whoever
I
gets blue
hate
coin
playing a
crushes it.
mirror.
Because you
I
can't
don't
beat
think it's
someone.
blue coin. I just think the person who draws the right cards at the right time just always wins.
Yeah, and it's
And
whoever
there's
gets
like very
last
little
say.
skill involved most of the I mean, it is very skill intensive, obviously mirrors, but I just feel like it's so boring when both players just play the same thing. I kind of want to just play something, different.
Yeah, like line pockets versus line pockets mirrors. Look, I'm not gonna say. I mean, there may be some 20, like 575 player right now about to criticize me, but like line pockets, everyone holds back Novigrad Injustice. You're trying to hold back your best cards and play out as little as you can, and you just mirror what your opponent does. Trying to eke out one extra point here there. It is
Exactly, yeah.
ruthlessly dull, and I just like them.
Yeah.
While I think it's so much more fun to have the crazy matches. I think the only mirror matchup which is fun is Nilfgaard, but that's because Nilfgaard is a
Oh yeah,
dumpster fire.
Nilfgaard Mirror is just dumb, honestly. Though a
It's a
lot of times
dumpster
it's
fire.
very stupid.
Everyone's decks are like growing and shrinking. Everyone's like changing the cards that they're actually playing. It is beautiful. It's so bad. I'm like playing Viper. Yeah. Oh god, it's so funny. Besides that one mirror matchup, is yeah, it's super boring when I see like iced versus iced. I'm like, all right, whoever iced last wins because they'll nuke the other person's Jutta and they'll have Jutta and they'll win.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like the mirror matches are dumb. I don't like them, but whatever. It's
Mhm.
everybody play whatever.
Yeah, well,
It's
one
fine.
thing,
It's fine to play whatever.
do you have any opinions on net decking? I hear your chat, my chat anyway, sometimes have some really strong opinions about net deckers, where they, go to Team Leviathan Gaming, which by far, by the way, I was thrilled that it turns out you're part of the team because they're my favorite place when it comes to meta reports. They do such a nice job.
Yeah,
And
they're good people. They know what they're doing. I
mhm.
was once on one of the meta reports. I was like, what the fuck am I doing here? I have no I know what decks are the best, but I cannot contribute to, giving my opinions on these decks because I never actually play them,
Yep. No, that makes
So
sense. But they do a great job. Where's it going with this? Oh, but when people all the time pull
yeah.
decks from there and they play them on ladder, and it drives some people nuts once the meta is
Yeah,
solved.
no, the problem is I think Gwent is very influenced by content creators. Say for example,
Mhm.
a Red Rain, a Trinet, upload a deck with or like show a deck with something
Like this is
80% win rate.
the Pirates Cove
And it
deck
just
right
gets
now. Hmm.
yeah, the Pirates Cove it just takes people a little bit to figure out, and sometimes one person figures it out really quickly. And before people, I think Gwent is a game where it doesn't need that much optimization because there's just you can very much build around your play style as well.
Uh-huh.
So um a lot of people like build the decks the way they like to play them. Like for
Mm-hmm.
example, the uh Saber, for example, usually builds the decks he likes to play them, and then he uploads them on his YouTube, obviously. But they're very similar to other decks. He just
Uh-huh.
adjusts them to his play style, and people like and that's always very interesting. People usually have the text, and those texts are where people realize net deckers. So exact,
Uh-huh.
and that's why content creators are also kind of essential, because when you can tell it's say for example, instead of it's not Sabers but Red Drame's version because they play that card for that provision slot, okay, that's his version. What do I now have to play around? I feel like net decking um it's looked down upon because people just hate losing, and they don't want to net deck because they
Yes.
they feel superior by not net decking, by building their own decks. But realistically, there are no own decks. It's just you're just putting in cards that anybody else could put in. Just some people put them in smarter, or like, and why wouldn't you play the best deck as well, right? If you want to
Mm-hmm.
win games, just build the best deck. It gets problematic when there's decks that literally require no brain cells to play. Say for example,
Line
Vi.
pockets. All right, which
Say
one
for
are you saying?
example,
Mm-hmm.
a player in rank 30 is like, all right, I want to win games as fast as possible. Let's look at this Team Leviathan thing. Oh, I see this Vi deck. It might not be tier 1, but it's
Mm-hmm.
saying that it's very easy to play. So
Yep.
I'm gonna just splash some money on all these cards that I need,
Uh-huh.
and just smork my way through in the fastest way possible to pro rank, because Vi is just like, and if he loses games, he doesn't lose games because he misplayed. It's just because he didn't draw enough Vi's.
Tutors.
So
Yep.
I mean, Vi is not really a net deck. I think that I'm just kind of complaining
That's
about
okay. I
Vi.
hate
But
Vi.
say
I
for
hate Vi
example,
with
the
a
Meta
passion.
Breaker, the Nilfgaard Meta Breaker is a perfect example of like a deck that somebody built and got to pro rank with
Uh-huh.
solely on the fact that he could surprise his opponents by something original. But once that isn't there anymore, the Meta Breaker wasn't as powerful because there was no surprise value
True.
with that
Definitely
deck.
was weaker. I find that Metabreaker actually, I think, represents one of the strongest parts of creative play, because people
Yeah,
forget
exactly.
prior before it coming out, Nilfgaard was a dead faction in that meta. No one played Nilfgaard until somebody said, you know what? I found a really cool idea. If you play the wet 4 times and ball in the same deck, turns out it's really good. And
Yeah,
then out of
exactly.
nowhere, boom, Nilfgaard's up there fighting for tier 1, tier 2.
Hmm.
And I think it's the value of creativity. It frustrates me sometimes where I'm like, okay, here's this deck 5 times in a row. But it really
Yeah.
only is, I think, a true problem in my eyes if the card is unfun. So Vi is an unfun card. I know what the problem
Yeah,
is.
exactly.
I can't kill the problem, which is really
Yeah.
unfair to me. I don't feel like I can tech my locks, they don't help. I can tech my removal, it helps somewhat. But I want to kill Vi.
Yeah.
If the card is a problem, I want to be able to kill it, or it better have a deploy ability. Likewise, and deploy abilities then you of course are a little bit weakened, something like an order ability in most cases.
Hmm. But
The
the thing is,
Mhm. Please.
right now, for example, I think we have a very good state of the game. There is
Yes.
no tier 0 decks,
100% agree. I love this.
which is really good because lined pockets for, I think, let's say for the last 2 months was quite close. The
Yeah.
month before last one, it was definitely tier 0. There's
Yep.
kind of no deck that could beat it in its efficiency when it draws well enough.
Yep.
It's just we don't have that right now, and we're gonna have an expansion in June, so who knows how much of a change there's gonna be.
Yes.
And that's always quite important to note as well. But at the moment,
Mhm.
I think it's also hard in a meta like this. It's hard to create a viable meta tier list because
Uh-huh.
right now nobody's. I mean, the Pirates Cove deck is definitely one of the few like surprise decks.
Yes.
Also the Foltest Erland deck is kind of interesting, but it's not. I wouldn't say it's
Mhm.
like in any tier. I think it's like tier 3 at best.
I
Because once the
Mhm.
opponents understand how it works, it's very easy to play around the things.
Mhm. I
And
agree.
yeah,
No, I think
it's also about
Mhm.
timing of decks. Realistically, at the start of patches is when you can build the wonkiest decks and get the most success with them, right? So
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's also quite important to note.
I really like this patch, and the meta that's kind of come out of it as well. I think
Yeah,
the patch that
it's a very mid-range meta. Now, the thing
Mhm.
is with mid-range metas, I think the problem with Gwent and mid-range metas is that the gameplay can get quite boring quite quickly because it's quite literally all about trades when you're playing
Mhm.
mid-range against mid-range and like what it's basically yeah a trade of provisions and like who spends the most provisions in the early rounds and who has the most golds in the next
Yes.
round.
I think this
Whereas whereas in like more unbalanced metas where there's like this one tier one deck and a lot of decks tech against that tier one deck, it becomes a lot more interesting how the tech decks fight against each other. In that sense.
I agree. I think right now what I like about this current meta is not really the mid-range aspects, but it's just
Mm.
unsolved. It feels like we're
Exactly. Yeah, that's
all
also. But that's
done.
what I'm saying.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the nature of mid range. There's mid range cards can always be put in differently. There's always
That's true.
different mid range cards in my opinion. Like you can play your syndicate, which currently is quite literally I think the best faction with the best mid range cards. Like you're always gonna
Mhm.
put Professor and Horson in those decks, and maybe Jack as well, because those
Mhm.
are just the best cards. But the
Yeah,
package you play around those cards
up to
can
you.
differentiate. You can play Tribute, you can play maybe not Firesworn. I guess you can actually play Firesworn as
Yeah,
well.
I
You can
wonder.
play Tribute, you can play Greedy Coins, you can play Horde as well.
Yep.
There's a lot of things you can build around mid-range cards and mid-range metas right now. And I guess the one deck that beats mid-range on a consistent basis is Vi, but the mid-range right now with Syndicate is pretty good against Vi because of the poison as well and all the control they have.
No, it's a good deck. I like this current meta. Is the short story. If it gets
Yeah,
solved
okay.
though, if
I
it turns
love it
out
too. I think
Pirates
this is a
Cove,
great meta. I think
if
this is a
Pirates
great
Cove ends
meta.
up being the best, like that's fine. But I
Yeah,
think
I would say so too.
I hated
I
my
would say.
least favorite patch was recent when the tunnel drill nerf came. That was the worst patch of all time. It was
Oh yeah, that was a
one that
pretty bad
I
patch. I
hated
made my
that.
April Fool's video based around that
Did
card.
you really? That's
Yeah,
so worth it. It
I said
was
this card is the nerf was too much, and it was like I uploaded that on
oh,
April 1st,
it angered
and
me.
that's why.
I remember sitting there reading the patch notes. I got less and less excited. Like I was excited, and then I started presenting them on stream, and I got less and less the more I delved into it because I realized nothing had changed, and I had to just I have to rank up at the end because me and you I don't think aim for top 500. I know I don't aim for top
Yeah,
500, so I have to
no.
go from rank 3 to pro again, which is fine. But I realized it's just gonna be me playing against the exact same decks that people have been playing for a month, and I have to relearn how to play meta because I've been playing meme decks the whole time. I was like, this is gonna be miserable. And it was. It was a miserable climb. I just played line pockets, and it was boring as could be. Um,
Oh, okay.
but I'm willing to sell out a little bit to climb a little bit quick. I don't know if you do that.
Yeah, I used to do that, but I think now I can accept kind of being in rank 3 to 1 for a
Longer.
week and
Nice.
just kind of slow climb with like memes. Sometimes when I'm like, and that also gives me the chance to play off stream, which is
Mm-hmm.
also nice. So I can go off stream and kind of like concentrate more on, actually trying some good decks or like experimenting with decent decks and maybe finding like
Yes.
a good deck guide or so. Um, and yeah, I guess yeah, that's pretty much how I usually get to pro rank.
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah, I don't. And yeah, I guess you want to ask me about streaming and why I don't stream
Yeah,
anymore.
I mentioned at the start while we're kind of like bantering back and forth. But yeah, I'm super curious about. You alluded to it a bit. You're living at home still. I'm trying to keep the
Mhm.
noise down, but you make a lot of Gwent content, but you don't do the streaming side at the same time. So tell me about that creative choice.
Well, I used to stream quite regular. I mean, I was very inconsistent. I used to be a very inconsistent streamer, and a lot of times I would just be done editing and then force myself to stream. And when I'm streaming, I love it because you're having fun, but then you realize you just spent your entire day working,
Mm-hmm.
working on YouTube,
Oh my gosh, you
on
do.
editing, and
100%.
on streaming. You've had like 2 hours to yourself while you were rendering the video, uploading the video,
Uh-huh.
and then it's back to streaming Gwent. It's
Yep.
it gets. I don't want to burn out, and right now I feel like is also not the best time to do both, especially with university now starting, having started since March, and it's just like it's a choice I make, and I know I sacrifice a lot of money with it actually,
Yep,
because
you're a pretty popular
streaming is a
streamer.
good secondary income. It's a good secondary income. But if I can do it like once a week on like a Thursday, and make YouTube videos with that, I can upload those on the weekend when I spend time with my girlfriend, because I also want to spend time
Yeah,
with
no, you gotta
her.
live a life.
And it's just a lot on my shoulder right now. And at times I feel like I just, if I were to, I always feel like at nights or at around like 10 p.m. when I would still be streaming, I'm like, yeah, if I was streaming right now, I wouldn't be able to just relax and just chill and be by myself and just think about not thinking about the upload if everything works, and
Uh-huh.
just like have time for myself and talk to my girlfriend, watch some movies with her, through
Yep.
like FaceTime or something.
Nice. No, and
Yeah.
I think that's true. Streaming is an unbelievably consuming lifestyle.
Hmm.
Because you're
Yeah.
basically in the zone, and as soon as you're done, you have to. I know, like for me, as soon as stream ends, I'm already downloading the footage from it, telling you Twitch I need a copy of it, then going to make dinner, eat dinner, and then edit the video, get it up. It
Yeah,
can be a lot.
exactly. And I know, and the thing is, I could also just be streaming all day, just playing the meme decks, and maybe make the intro after the or before the stream. But I kind of don't like Twitch chat being part of YouTube videos. That's something that's kind of always. I don't mean to sound rude, but it always came across a bit unprofessional for me.
Hmm.
Where you're playing a game and you're interacting with people on the stream. It's like when you're having a conversation with a person and you're in the middle of a conversation and he just suddenly talks to another
Yep.
person when you're watching the YouTube video. It kind of takes you out of the immersion, I feel like. So that's why I don't like it. I guess that's just a personal choice though. And that's why I
Oh,
don't like, making my YouTube videos on stream. Whereas like I found a way to make like these experiment videos, these Gwent experiment videos now on stream, where it makes sense that you're with Twitch chat because you're trying to
yes.
make this experiment. You're trying to like perfect the deck to make the experiment with,
Okay.
and then you have input from other people and you can interact and it makes sense. Whereas if you're showing like a deck off, or if you're showing like a meme deck and Twitch keeps telling you what plays to make or like what the right play is, it kind of like takes away from that whole immersion. I feel like where I'm trying to figure out this meme by myself, and if I fail, I fail, and I have no one else to blame for that.
That okay. I want to pick up with that. I need to do a 2-second break to run to the restroom, if that's all right. Do you mind holding the fort for a second?
Yeah, sure, I can do that.
I apologize. I know I'm banning you mid-interview, but yeah, duty call, so to speak. But give me a hot second. I'm gonna be right back, and then as soon as I'm back, we will pick up with that because I actually really want to explain it that because of course, I have Twitch chat on my YouTube videos, and so as a result, I would love to keep running with that. Give me a hot second. I apologize.
No worries, my friend. No worries, Joe. No worries. All right. So, is there a CC stream tomorrow? Yeah, maybe, probably, probably. Quite. I want to make. Oh shit! It's Thursday tomorrow already. That's so crazy. Yeah, I'll probably make a stream tomorrow, a custom card stream and like another Gwent experiment, and then I have two videos ready to be made, two decks ready to be made. Make rule 3 cards per person. Did I call him Joe? Whoops, I think I did. Maybe. Who's Joe? It's Joe Mama. Yeah. Whoops. I think I just called him Joe accidentally. I'm bad with names, guys. Even if his name is literally right in front of my face. Okay, we call him worse than that. It's I. Okay, I'm glad. I'm glad you guys accept me for who I am.
And I'm back. And don't worry about calling me Joe. You can call me whatever you want, Ben. It's all good.
I don't know. I'm bad with names, especially when they have like similar starts.
It's
Made the same mistake.
all
Made the
good.
same mistake with my girlfriend's dad. Called him the wrong name, and I was like, Oh shit!
You know,
We may we they keep making fun of me for that, by the way. So don't ever forget the parents' name of your girlfriend.
no, that seems like a wise idea. One time mistake, twice would be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I know I
One
wanted to
time.
pick up where we left off there. That sounds like you're chatting with chat, so I appreciate about that. Let's see. So we're talking about Twitch chat on the YouTube videos and having to jerk away. It's so funny. So my philosophy with it is if it's there, people understand it's a stream, so they give me like more
Yeah.
leeway with it. If I didn't
Yeah.
have it on
Exactly.
screen, then everyone would be like, why is John just like talking to voices? You know, like looking over here, looking
Mm.
over there, like, yeah, I do like burgers. And like, what does that have to do with Gwent? But I feel like if I
Yeah,
have
and
it on
also like I
stream,
don't know. I think it does. I think it's I guess for me it's mostly ego. Is that I kind of don't want to come across lazy. I wouldn't say it's lazy to upload a Twitch video on YouTube, but I feel like Twitch and YouTube are two separate identities. I don't know why.
uh-huh.
Maybe it's just because maybe I'm just
Well,
arrogant when it comes to that.
it's okay to
Maybe
be
that's just
arrogant.
like I should probably go past that barrier and up and stream my videos on YouTube and also and then upload those and then add an intro afterwards or something. I guess I could do that, but yeah, I just don't. It's just so different. I don't know. Maybe it's just an ego thing.
Well,
And also with
mhm.
like YouTube videos, I can take my time with the videos. I don't have to like have a schedule or like be ready. I can play as many games as I want. I won't chat won't tilt me. Chat is quite tilting at
Oh
times.
my gosh,
Uh,
chat's sometimes your friend, sometimes is the greatest of all enemies.
auf jeden
Uh,
Fall.
they're
And
they're
yeah, that's
they think they're right more often than they are. I swear.
yeah. No, they are. Yeah, I think backseat gaming is probably the thing that triggers me the most in YouTube comments. Is like they know I've edited this video and like they're pointing out a mistake to me, and I'm like,
A little late.
I know I've seen it twice. I don't like when I edit that I shout out like mistakes. I don't like doing that as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess I sometimes I do that in the comments.
Interesting. I
But
know
yeah, I don't know.
when people shout out.
It's just
Mhm.
yeah, people shouting out misplays. I mean, it makes sense. They try to make you a better player by shouting out misplays, and I understand why people do it. It's just you know, you as the person who's already now experienced it once and seen it, and had to suffer through editing past that point and
Uh-huh.
leaving that part in the video. It just it's always kind of hard
It is.
because if you're not playing, it's so different. Also,
Mhm.
a lot of people tend to make the same mistake a lot of times with why didn't you kill this, why didn't you kill that, and literally every response is defender, 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 defender. And
Uh-huh.
it's like, oh, okay, because like people sometimes think they're so smart.
Yep. No, it's so funny when people point out a mistake. I'm like, look, guys, I'm streaming a bunch of games. I'm doing it live, or even if I'm not
Yeah,
doing it live, I'm not perfect. So your play in retrospect
exactly.
might be
Yeah.
great, but when you're sitting there, you have 30 seconds and you try and you have 6 different lines of play to consider. You pick this
Mm.
one. Turns out you should pick the other one. Like, all right, so be
Yeah.
it. It just kind of cracks me up. I had a YouTube comment. If I'm getting a little specific, if you're in the chat, I apologize because I'm gonna chew you out a little bit. Person was like, so I put together a Skellige Witcher deck, crushed the ladder this season. It was really effective. Because people hadn't quite figured out mid range was where things were moving, and or just control decks as well. Kelly had done well early on, and I played it, crushed it. And somebody else in my chat wrote on YouTube, I'm at rank 3 and I've played this deck and I lost 20 games in a row, and I know it's not me who's having a problem. And I was like, so I can't respond to your comment because what you're saying is the deck
Yeah.
sucks. But I have a
Yeah.
here's your
No.
video of me getting to pro rank from the bottom of ranked 1 in under 90 minutes. It just went 6-0 and crushed it. So here's your proof that clearly something is wrong in what you're doing. There's
Yeah.
you
No.
saying
For
I lost
sure.
20 games. Like, what do I do? Just like when they point out a mistake, like, what do you do? What do you want me to do? Saying like, oh, you're right, but like, I don't know what to say. Except though in this video they were wrong because the video is proof against it. I just didn't know what to do. And it's really
Yeah.
funny.
No. I get it. I get it. I fully get it. Yeah.
So
There's
funny.
a lot of things like
Uh,
that slightly trigger you, but
mm-hmm.
you live with it. You survive. You make it through another day.
Dude, so tell me, I have a question. One thing I've noticed in the Gwent community that's very different than other communities I've seen is these teams. Team Leviathan Gaming, Bandit Gang, Team Elderblood. There's a couple others that I probably should plug, but aren't. They're coming to mind immediately. But what do you do with this group of people? Because it's not like a small like group of 6 content creators coming together. It's like a small personal army of people. Do you interact with
Um,
them, or is it kind of more like a name only?
I
How does this
wish I
work?
wish I interacted more with them. I used to play some Among Us with them quite frequently, but yeah, I should probably interact more with these guys. It's just, for me, for them they're mostly competitive. Like once Spessy used to be a memer, then he joined Team Leviathan Gaming, and now he's top
Hmm.
64 every season.
Yep.
Because he actually wanted to
Be good.
make it out of the meme territory and actually start competing in Gwent with other
Nice.
people like Gravish, uh Paja, Spiro, all those guys.
Yeah.
And then he gets to and then now he's actually like competing at the top level with
Hmm.
some of the best players in the world. And that's the impact of Team Leviathan. It's just, for me, that never was my intention with my
Hmm.
content. I never wanted to try to be competitive with Gwent. I always tried to have fun with it, try to, entertain people, entertain myself, and that's just kind of if I like the way I'm describing what I do is I should be kind of perfect for Bandit Gang
Uh-huh.
because they are the meme
Yes.
faction of the meme team, right, of
Yep.
Gwent, and there's a lot of people in Bandit Gang who I know and who I know like me as a content creator. Bomblin, Baby Joe's, I started the Oddball series with,
Nice.
King Dempai. One Cristo also asked me to
Hmm.
be on the Gwent trivia show at some point,
Nice.
but then they got Jason and they didn't want me anymore. But
Sure,
yeah,
someone in Bandit Gangs right now is like face palming really hard.
yeah, exactly. So El Rashid, yeah, I don't know, like all these guys. Yeah, I'm very out of place in TLG, I would say, but I
Not
don't know.
necessarily a bad
I
thing.
like it. I like it there. I like having people to ask about meta things. Sometimes, I mean, I very rarely interact with the guys, to be fair. So maybe I should do that more often, or maybe I should just switch over to Bandit Gang. I don't think anyone would really blame me for that.
Yeah, I mean, I just find the concept of how there's these different like teams that have been built so interesting. If you
Yeah,
it seems
but I
so
think that's
very different.
that,
Mhm.
I guess because a lot of like, for example, I see that in Legends of Runeterra, they do kind of a lot of teams carry over from other games to Legends of Runeterra because like the big ones like Evil Geniuses, I guess,
Interesting.
Swim is
Okay.
is an example of that, right? So
Yeah,
um
it's like an east
and yeah,
really
exactly.
different.
So it's and in Gwent there is no like Evil Geniuses or G2 or I don't know what else. That we kind of created our own sort of scene for the competitive Gwent,
Mhm.
thing, which is kind of cool
Hmm.
because
Different way to
I
do it.
guess because
Okay.
a lot of it, a lot part of it is because Gwent is like a different region
Hmm.
to, say, for example, Legends of Runeterra, which already has like this platform as Riot Games and League of Legends. It's
Yes.
kind of like CDPR and their first online game, right? This is actually their
Hmm.
first online game, so it's bound to create a new community, right? So
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
that's also
smaller.
interesting. Most of my viewers are Polish. They used to actually be American. They always used to be very close to American, but now actually most of my viewer base is Polish, which is kind of
Nice.
fascinating. So shout out to all my Polish viewers watching this
Mhm.
and the people of Poland. Maybe I should move to Poland so people might recognize me on the streets. Who knows?
Could be fun. Just keep walking around there. Somebody will eventually like, what is that guy doing? Oh, I know that guy. That's Misterhabbla himself, also known as
It's
Ben. Ah.
exactly.
Okay, hold on. Let me just take my quick notes. Anything I wanted? Man, there's plenty of stuff. You there. I guess
Mr.
one thing, Ben,
Freddy.
if you don't mind me doing a bit of a harder pivot here. Do you have any advice you give people about how to be creative? You talked earlier, way back earlier in the interview, about how the intros just kind of come to you. Sometimes the intro comes first, then you have to build a deck that'll support that intro. Do you have any advice for creativity?
Take inspiration, I think, is my main one. Like, there is no creativity. There cannot be a creative product without another creative product already existing.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to think on like movie scenes or skit ideas or just genuinely like memes that are popular and take inspiration from them or just like straight up copy them sometimes and use that for my intro because me personally, I think there are no more original ideas, just things that lean on original ideas or original ideas that can be advanced or evolved, especially in a storytelling aspect in just video in a short video where I have limited time with the intro, so I also have a very uh straight line to go for. I don't have to establish different scenes. I don't have to establish different places. I need
Mm-hmm.
to just be there where I am and people will know it's there. So then you kind of just go off of that. And like usually it's a lot of times, well, with the intros, I have cards.
Mm-hmm.
What idea works with the cards? Say for example,
Okay.
dragons. You have fire. Okay, can I do anything with fire? Yeah, I guess I can do some special effects with fire where my hat's on fire, or I breathe fire on my coffee to make it hotter. Um, or like, I don't know. I think, and sometimes I just have random ideas where like they're like internet trends, and I just do them and just say meme cards at the end or something. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's weird because I think being everybody can be creative. It's just putting it on paper and then also being able to execute the creativity and package it in the right way. Where um, like a lot of times you just have to say, okay, this is good enough to be put out. Like you don't have to worry about what other people think, whether they think it's cringe, as long as you put all the effort in to it
Mm-hmm.
and did all the things you could have done, then and you're happy with it as well, then you should just be happy with it, right? Even
Yes.
if even if it has slight flaws, and there's and you can use those flaws to learn in the future, right?
Mm-hmm.
Moreover than just trying to perfect it at that point. Just always try and move on to the next idea. Maybe that idea gives you a new perspective on the previous idea and how you could have improved it. And then maybe you make a mistake in that video, and that mistake carries over to another idea. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's all kind of connected. Like every mistake you learn in the next video how to make it better. And um as a creative like person, I really don't know how I guess I get inspirations usually just from talking to people as well. Sometimes I just talk to my girlfriend, and if I sometimes I when I actually don't have ideas, which is actually quite rare, honestly, I just talk to my girlfriend about random stuff and maybe figure out like what topic there is, what exists currently in the world, and I can do something with that topic or the idea behind the topic. And yeah, I guess I don't know. Like creativity is hard to sort of describe or visualize because you can't really give somebody else what's on your mind.
Mm-hmm.
You can't give them exactly that, what's going on, like the thought process behind making an intro or a video or a deck.
Mm-hmm.
I guess every I think it's very unique to every person. Like not I wouldn't say not everyone. I would say everybody is creative. It's just about how committed are you to that creativity and how well can you visualize the idea and so that you can then put it into action and put it on paper.
Okay. There's a lot there, and I love that. I think something that I did want to move a little bit deeper into all that you mentioned was a lot about experience. And like you talked about how you like just talking with girlfriend, they're experiencing new things, brings in new ideas, and you run with that. I noticed that on your channel, you're starting to do some more stuff. There's doing the battle of the expansions. Do you
Hmm.
think you're going to continue to move in a direction to diversify further and further on your channel, even just through
Well, the
Gwent
thing is,
content?
yet again, that idea is not my own. I took that from Simo from Yu-Gi-Oh, and then I also learned that they did this on Hearthstone, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just something that I feel like is a great idea, and I have the ability to, make it. So why shouldn't I? Because I don't think any other YouTuber or like Gwent content creator would be able to make that series the way I make it, and
Yes. You
yeah.
gotta make your own, right?
Yeah,
Your
no,
own
it's
take.
it's Yeah, but like I have an intro where I explain the
Mhm.
meta back in the days, and
How
you
do
know,
you do that, by
like,
the way? I was so
hmm?
curious. I actually have that question written down. How do you keep track of the old metas and what cards did and all of that? I have like no
Well,
memory of any of it.
oh, well, I played it, I guess. I mean, I don't remember everything. Like when I made the intro and like when
Uh
I
huh.
edited, I realized, oh, there was also this and that card was meta. Like Dragon's
Mhm.
Dream was completely left out and
Yep.
not mentioned because Dragon's Dream Nivellen, you
Uh huh.
have Northern Realms with all the neutral cards such as Gaunter, Synthesis. Those were also really that was the best Northern Realms deck back in the day. And yeah, like I just remember that because that was like a very important time for me because I got to learn a new game completely, which was kind of
Interesting.
cool. So yeah, I guess I also watch a lot of Gwent content.
Mhm.
Like maybe like I don't know about other Gwent streamers.
Mhm.
Because I hear like I know from Trinet that he doesn't watch much of Gwent outside of him making his videos.
Mhm.
Like sometimes he says he's in like Red Rain stream or something.
Okay.
But me personally, I watch a lot of like Spiro, Specimen, even Saber, you sometimes before I go to sleep. Recently, I've started
Flattery.
watching Life Coach as
Mhm.
well. Dempai when I really wanna when I'm feeling really frisky, I guess.
Uh huh. It's a
Um,
bold choice.
yeah, I guess
Dempe's a good guy.
although yeah, it's a bold choice, but yeah, I enjoy all those guys as well. So Shamir also, I like watching him. It's just I like having that in the background while uploading a video. I can just
Mhm.
like watch them play, see what they play, see what's in the meta. I get to learn what's in the meta, and and I also gotta get inspiration as to what I want to play for my next video. So that's how I
Mhm.
also remember a lot of metas from back in the day because I watched a lot of Pumpkin. Back in the days, also Swim was streaming
Uh huh.
a little bit
Like the first big one in
of
my, if I
Gwent,
recall. Mhm.
and yeah, it was early days of Gwent, and yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff going on for me back in the days, and then ever since then I was just engaged with the game, so I kind of like followed I remember I guess I just remember those things well.
Nice. I mean,
I don't know
you're
why.
definitely engaged with the content community. It's actually one of my personal
Yeah,
weaknesses is that I don't really watch streams or other creators. A lot of it's doing
yeah,
my things.
exactly.
I mean, now
So
I watch.
that's the difference.
Mhm.
That's why I remember like the metas because I saw other people play the same decks I would play all day and see how they would play around certain things, see what kind of
Mhm.
strategies they have against those decks. So yeah, I guess that's kind of like the difference because I feel like as a content creator, you also kind of have to be always with the latest news. Because like when I
Yes.
upload a video
100%.
and I realized I haven't like watched Gwent content for like a weekend and I haven't been engaged with Gwent at all,
Mhm.
I'm like, where do I start in the deck builder? I'm like, okay,
Yep.
yeah. I very rarely
Goes
like okay. I
fast.
mean, it's not as bad as I make it out to be because
Uh huh. Well, I
like
mean, things are cooking,
I,
and especially
I
if you're trying
yeah,
to keep with
there's
the
always
creators.
cooking in this brain of mine, but
Uh
like
huh.
how to approach certain matchups, so like what cards to tech for the meta. Sometimes I just don't know, so I just put up a random deck that probably just gets destroyed by what's currently being played.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I
but
mean,
that's
and
just
it's
how it
in.
is.
It
But yeah,
is.
I
Yeah.
would say remembering all these old things. I just like I was engaged. I was always engaged in Gwent and always watched people play and played myself. So I guess that's why it's in my memory and why I can remember those things.
It's no Gwent. It sounds like it's been a huge part of at least your a minimum your gaming. Definitely a big part of your content
Oh
creation.
yeah. Oh
Do
yeah. I mean,
you do you think it'll be what you continue to do in the foreseeable future? Do you see yourself ever leaving Gwent behind, or next year or two, your mind's going there like, get me another round of kegs, and keep
yeah,
on
that's the
going.
thing. Like
Uh
you
huh.
never know. Like of course I want to try to if I ever were to leave Gwent, I wouldn't make like an announcement video
Uh
because
huh.
that's like the dumbest thing to do because people insta unsubscribe. I would just make other videos
Mm-hmm.
with the Gwent stuff, like sort of mix it up. And at some point, your other videos might even be more popular than the Gwent videos.
Yes.
So then you can kind of transition and just stop uploading Gwent videos. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes someone's going to ask, where are the Gwent videos? Where are the Gwent videos? And a year later, you do like a Q&A and say, yeah, no, you guys might have realized I'm not uploading any Gwent because I'm not playing the game anymore. I'm not. I just have better
Hmm.
content to make or like want to make other content. But at the moment, I feel like Gwent is for me in a very good spot. Right, it
Hmm.
has. Especially now with Life Coach coming back, I think that brings
Oh
it
yeah,
back another good viewer base.
huge,
Like
huge.
I think right now Gwent is in a good spot to be in right now because yeah, because it's just I feel like the meta is
Hmm.
fine, everything is perfectly balanced. There's going to be an expansion in I think like 20 days or
Yeah,
something.
it's in June sometime. I can't wait. It's a small one, but like I like the idea of more frequent small expansions to mix things up.
Nah,
Hmm.
what's more important to me is balance patches. I think balance patches
100%.
are vital. Like
Yes.
yeah, those I think they did well. Everything from the leaders, from the roadmap announcements has been very good so far.
Yes.
I mean, you have obviously the problem with the bugged patch,
Yeah.
like
The one
like this
garbage
horribly
patch.
bugged patch every 3 months, pretty much.
Oh,
And then
okay,
you kind of
that's
forget
boring
about it,
too.
but then it comes back, and then it's another
Yeah,
like
it's the
horrible
price of
bugged
having a
patch.
small game. Hmm.
And if they work on that, they might actually have a really good game. Like this game has some really good longevity in
Yes.
it. But yeah, these things can't continue forever if they're gonna actually want to stay or like if they want people like me to stay long term
Yeah.
for a longer time. Because I feel like I could milk Gwent for a really long time, but I just like doing other stuff maybe more at some point. Who
Yeah.
knows? I
It's.
can't really assure you
Mhm.
when I'm gonna quit Gwent or if I'm gonna ever quit Gwent. Okay, probably I'm gonna quit Gwent at
It's
some point.
someday. Every
Uh,
creator tries other games. Hmm.
yeah, and I don't really think that at the moment I can give a clear answer as to when that's gonna be. Like, I'm gonna try and review movies on the side
Hmm.
content or something, or like make a second channel with
Nice.
movie reviews or something like that. But yeah, at the moment I feel like I'm doing quite well with Gwent and I can continue for a little bit.
Yeah, I find that always to be an interesting choice when you branch out and when you burn out of a particular game. Look at someone like Disguised Toast. I think it's probably one of the best examples of a creator going from game to game to game until he gets a home run, right? Because he
Mm.
went from Hearthstone, right, similar to Gwent. It's another card game. Did a bit of Magic the Gathering. Then he did a lot of team fight tactics, and then he found Among Us, and boom, 3 million subscribers later, he's doing just fine. I
Hmm.
find that bouncing when
Wait,
you move
Toast
on.
used to play Gwent?
No, not Gwent. Hearthstone. He did Magic. He did
Oh,
everything
okay,
that
okay.
was not Gwent. He tried them all.
Oh, okay.
And he
Oh,
finally hit.
okay,
He
that's
finally found
crazy.
Among Us, and then that was it.
Yeah,
Blew it
yeah,
out of the park. And that is the game of hopping around. Scar is another good example. Eventually found Team Fight Tactics and Among Us. Great there.
yeah.
But I agree that Gwent is in one of the best spots it's ever been because somebody once in my chat asked me, "Hey, are you worried about Life Coach? Sucking up so many viewers?" My response was no, because Life Coach didn't suck up viewers. He just brought his audience here and increased the number of viewers on Gwent by 50 to 60%. He brings 1,000 plus people who are here for Life Coach, not for Gwent, and exposes them to Gwent. I hope he sticks around for
Yeah.
ages. I am pumped that he's here, and I hope more personalized Noxious started streaming for a little bit. Like, bring them back. That's how you grow this game. And fixing those bugs, as you pointed out. But hopefully they get better at the bounce patching. The tunnel drill bounce patch haunts my soul. I'm still very angry about that one. That and the Vi, when Vi was not hotfixed when they released it, was also making me really bitter. I looked at that, I'm
Yeah,
like,
Vi was a bit of a problem.
here's a card that you can't interact with. It's broken the entire meta. You can't interact with it, and it's gonna win the game. It is simply not fun to play currently. Literally, just tack on a provision or two right now, and fix it later. Because if you just up the provision one or two, the whole deck will be a lot more reasonable, and you can tone it down later on. Because right now, I hate that card.
Yeah,
But
I think my
mhm.
personal least favorite meta of Gwent was DJ Townsfolk.
Okay, I don't think I was
Uh,
there for that.
with Photis. This
Sounds
was
interesting.
when Northern Realms got a bunch of reworks,
Okay.
and Syndicate got the single most busted leader to ever exist, I think, in this game. Lined pockets used to give you carryover coins. Basically, you would have
Hmm.
charges of 6, and whenever you
Okay.
played a crime, you gain 1 charge. So it was possible to have like
Oh.
15 coin charges
Oh, that's
in round
cool.
3, and that
That's
was
dangerous.
the single worst or most broken like deck I
Point.
think that existed. And at the same
Brutal.
time, full commandos, blue stripes commandos got
Uh-huh.
a major, but they got Roach merciless basically,
Nice.
and that changed that deck forever anyway.
Yep.
And those two decks would just be the only things you faced because there was nothing else that could beat it
That's
at that time.
horrible.
So
Hilarious.
that's
Horrible.
if anybody managed to survive that time of Gwent, hats off to you. Hats off to myself because I as well also survived that time of Gwent. But yeah, those were dark times. Also, I think when Hidden Cache
Mm-hmm.
was tier 0, it was a bit ridiculous. I think every time Syndicate is tier 1, it's always
Syndicate's
a bit
brutal.
ridiculous
They have great tools. Mm-hmm.
because they're just fundamentally better than every other faction
For
because of
carryover.
coins.
Yep.
But
And
that's
then
also that's kind of also like their weak point. If their coins don't pop off, then they're gonna lose a lot of points on certain cards.
yeah.
But yeah, if you play Syndicate
Mhm.
correctly, it's just a more powerful faction than the rest, pretty much.
Yeah, one of the cards I think the cards that scare me about Syndicate right now are this Bronze Crimes that give you 3 coins and 3 points. Dip of the Pontar and Shakedown.
Yeah,
I look at those because and get worried because coins are very rarely a 1-to-1.
yeah. No,
It's
that's why I
why they're
think
so
they
good.
still haven't changed Waylay to 4 provisions though. They
Uh-huh.
Waylay's a 5 provision card for some reason. Also,
Really? That's
what's
brutal.
Hideous Feast? Yeah, Hideous Feast is also 5 provisions when it should clearly be a 4 provision card.
One of these
Like if
days.
those cards are 4 provision, how are they not? Are the others not? Like it makes no
Yep.
sense.
I like that they try to bring up some of the older cards. That's one thing that happens on a lot of the patches is they'll take like 10
Hmm.
cards and buff them. It's unlikely anyone
Yeah.
will ever use them, but someday one of those cards will get used.
Someday, yeah,
Or Fear
someday,
Merchants
someday.
now 4 for 4 instead of 4 for 5, for example. It's a
Yeah,
step in the right
exactly.
direction.
Yeah, yeah.
What else was I gonna say? Give me a moment just to collect the thought. Okay, I lost that. Something you ever have a train of thought and sometimes it just like leaves the station. You're like, I wasn't on the train
I
quite yet.
understand. I
You
understand.
had said something that I really wanted to ask you about. Let's see. Well, why don't we take a quick gander for the notes then? See if I can spark my memory here. Yeah. Oh, we cleaned house on my notes. Jeez,
Yep.
we did a great job.
Mm. We did well. We did well.
We did well. Well, I'll give you an option here. I'm happy to wrap up here if you think you're fine here. It's been nearly 2 hours of just interviewing.
Well, yes, I think we're good to just
Wrap it up.
end it
Okay. The
here.
other choice we
I'm
go
I'm
to
I'm
the
good. I'm
anime
good to
wrap.
wrap it up.
I'm good for wrapping it up. Misterhabbla1, aka Ben. Ben, thank you so much for hanging out with me
Thank
today.
you, thank you, John, for having me, my friend.
Oh my gosh, I'm
That sounds a
so
little weird when I
grateful.
say my friend.
Yo, feel free to say
Thank
my
you,
friend. I
John.
say it all the time. So
My man, my man, my man,
my man, my man
my
Ben.
man,
I like it.
my man.
Oh wait, it's a lie. There's
Yeah.
Q&A. Question chats rebelling. Hold on one second. Let's
Oh,
bring up some
okay.
questions.
Chat wants some questions. Okay,
Yeah,
so we can do
right.
quick
Mod's been
fire
collecting it the
questions
whole
with
time,
chat
and I'm
real
like,
quick.
oh yeah, we can wrap it up. Chat was having an intricate discussion. Okay. I need somebody. One of the mods send me the questions. Let's go ahead and go through them. Oh, actually, how am I gonna get them? Mods, just post them directly in the chat because I realized I'm streaming this through Discord, and Discord is gonna, if I take it off to go read your question. Actually, you can send them. Send them on Discord. I'll use my phone. That's how we'll get it. Link is on the
Yeah,
mod
yeah,
Discord
yeah.
server. On my way.
Oh, yeah. Thank God for technology giving us 17 possible screens at once.
Right, because it's so funny. Chat was arguing very vehemently about my how good or bad an interviewer I was, which is fine, guys. I think you guys handled it all well. But gotta check this out. I'm gonna say for the record, I love my mods. They're the greatest people of all time. All right, how many have we got? For Habla in general, we've covered a lot of them. Let me try to lightning round a few of these really fast. And see, we'll do lightning round, then maybe 1 or 2 more in-depth ones, and we'll go from there. You ready? Lightning round
Okay.
time. Favorite anime?
Oh God. Okay, I can't do this lightning wise. I can't do favorite. Dude, Attack on Titan. I'm sorry, it's gotta be
All right, love it. That's a great choice. Lemon iced tea or peach iced tea?
lemon all the way.
Okay, beautiful. Over peach? Uh,
I mean Austrian lemon iced tea, bro.
that's fine.
You've
I even
not
tried the
tasted that.
Austrian. You're good. You're good. Let's see. What's your favorite premium card art?
Wildcard or Vilgefortz.
Let's see. Do you have an active Discord? Trying to paraphrase somebody's. Do you have an active Discord or not?
I have a
Like
very
a
active Discord. I have actually quite a big Discord. I have like 800 plus members or something on it.
Nice. Okay, that's really good. Well done. Is there any
Okay,
card that you
yeah.
feel like right now needs a nerf?
Any card right now that needs a nerf? Probably Horson. I think Horson should have the coin leftover removed, that he doesn't gain the coins of leftover damage. That
Ooh.
he's just like deal 6 basically. I think Horson's a bit overtuned right now. He's a bit too good. He was already a really good card. It's just people didn't play him for some reason, and then they
Yeah.
buffed him for no reason. I just
Nice.
think Horson is a bit overstated. Other than that, I think every card, I guess Iced, you could say, it's a bit overtuned as well. But other than those two, I think everything seems fine. Yeah, I think
Nice.
everything's fine. I thought Photos was going to be a problem, but I think Photos is fine as well.
Perfect. How long does it take for you to make a YouTube video?
Well, depends. Usually
Mm-hmm.
filming is around hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on what kind of content I want to make.
Mm-hmm.
Then editing usually hour and a half. Making intro usually takes around half an hour. Editing intro, depending on the intro, obviously, usually it's quite short. Intro editing is like either 10 to 15, unless it's a big video. Unless it's like a really complex intro, then it's usually it could go like an
Mm-hmm.
hour to hour and a half. Especially with the music montages that I sometimes have, those can be quite a bit of work.
Mm-hmm.
And then rendering and uploading is about an average of like 2.5 hours. So let's calculate all of that again. That's around like 6 hours, I think it was. I mean, rendering
It's a
without
lot of
rendering
effort.
and exporting, that's not when I make the video.
Right. You're
I would
just
say
waiting
like
for it to.
4 to 5 hours.
Still quite a time commitment while you're managing school, thinking about moving out,
Yeah,
trying to, of course. Yeah. That is a chunk of time.
yeah.
Let's see. So let me ask us a few more
Oh
that are a
yeah.
bit.
Also, I would like Vi to be reworked for the previous.
Oh my gosh, you're not kidding.
Time.
Cards,
Yeah, Vi needs to. Vi needs
cards
to
is.
die.
Um. Let me ask you a bit more in depth. Are you afraid of running out of meme cards? And if so, what are your plans to handle
Play bronze meme cards.
that? Go deeper. You just have to go deeper. There's gonna be some meme card down there. I like it. I like it. Um. Everything else.
That's what
Mhm.
I think I did one intro where I actually didn't say meme cards. I just made a video where I realized there's bronze cards in the game and I could make meme cards around those.
Uh-huh. That's true. That's true. There are a couple. Not many, not too many, but if you start digging, you're like, I want to set up the biggest I don't even remember what the card is. Lacerating strike? Is that what a card is? Deal
Just
two to
last
everything.
rate.
Lacerate, yeah. Lacerate. Maybe the goal for the day is gonna set the biggest lacerate I can. Dig deep
Well,
enough.
that's 18 points.
Yeah,
That's it.
find a way
That's
to
the
make
biggest
it.
last rate you can get.
That's true, that's true. I'm like combine of Sabrina, I gotta go deeper. Ah.
Oh yeah, Sabrina. Yeah.
I think everything else in the video has been hit. Um Yeah, I think everything else honestly has been hit in the video at some point in the interview. So here's what I'd say, guys. I'm content with the questions as they are. If like 99% can be heard by listening to the first half of the interview. Because imagine people are coming in, they're getting the questions from so many of the questions and mods, but a lot of these we've covered. So I'm gonna leave it there actually.
Also, by the way,
Uh-huh.
people who suggest meme cards to me, I see a comment here. You should do a video on Sabrina's Inferno. It's a cool meme.
Mm-hmm.
Odds are I already made a video on it. In this
Mm-hmm.
case, I already made a video around it. So
I'm
Just
not.
just to let the people know. A lot of times when people suggest meme cards, odds are pretty high I already played them.
I mean, you've been doing
So
videos for like 2 to 3 years at this
yeah,
point,
exactly,
so you've
exactly.
covered a
I
lot
mean, the
of
videos
ground.
might be old, but I still did it, right? I still did it.
Yeah, no, you did what had to be
Mm.
done. You've dug deep, and you're gonna
Yeah,
keep digging. I like it. I like it. You want to do any shout outs at the end? This is the time to plug your socials, your discords. Not that these people
guys,
probably don't know you, but mine as well.
guys, if you don't know who I am, my name is Misterhabbla1. I make Gwent YouTube content for the most part. I have a YouTube channel. I guess you link them down, youtube.com/MrHobbla1. I also have a Twitch in which I try to stream every Thursday, make some weird, crazy Gwent experiments, and upload those on YouTube afterwards. That is twitch.tv/MrHobbla. Also, if you want to know what I upload, I usually announce all the uploads on Twitter. And if you want to support me financially, I have a Patreon, also patreon.com/MrHobbla1. So if you want to go ahead and give me some money, because I don't stream a lot on Twitch, it's hard for me to, get the donations or the subscriptions. So you're also going to get the intros around 2 hours before everybody else if you're on my Patreon. Also, some deleted scenes from time to time. I will upload those. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the interview. If you did, I guess Plain Talk John gets the outro. I'm so used to making outros in my videos
Yeah,
in front of the
no, it's
camera, so
good.
I guess.
I can take the wheel. We're winging. I didn't really think about like exactly what I'm gonna say here, but we're going for it. God, again, well, Ben, thank you so much for the interview. Thank you so much for taking the time out today. I was honored.
Thank you for
It was
having me. Thank you for having me.
great. Definitely, guys, check out his socials. Check out. I see people plugging socials for me, but that's not what those commands do. You need to plug his socials, his Patreon, his YouTube, his Discord, his Twitch channel. All brilliant places to be. Gotta check them out. And thank you again, Ben, so much for all that, your time. And I guess this is where we bring it to a close.
All right, guys, enjoy your evening. I mean, whatever time it is for you guys right now, I'm
Time
gonna
zone.
enjoy my evening. I have a new video on my YouTube, so if you want to check that out while you were watching this video, it has been uploaded. And yeah, I'm glad you guys got to know me a little better. And yeah, I'll see you soon. Bye bye.
Goodbye, goodbye. Thank you so much to Pamzosaurus and Ahmed Ali for all their support on Patreon.